Good evening, everyone. We are live at Fort Scott High School, getting ready for week 2 of the high school football season. Scott Marlowe, Tony Fuentes with you. Brody Wright taking care of our live video stream tonight. We're having some technical difficulties back in the KLKC studios, so at some point you may hear me talking to our board operator a little bit later in the broadcast. But as we get going with our Tank Connection pregame show, Tony, both teams coming off season opening losses. Vikings 26-6 to their rival Lebec County. Fort Scott put up a pretty good fight against Paola for the first half, only down 7-zip at the break, but then ended up losing 34-6. So, you lose that first game, both of these teams are going to be hungry to get that first win here tonight.
Yeah, I think, we talked to AD Jeff Delatorre before the game, and he was talking about Fort Scott losing 28 seniors last year. So he said there's some of their kids are playing, doing some different things this year. So they're young, and they do have 13 seniors. I think we have 12 seniors. So, going talent-wise, I mean, I think there's equivalency there between the two teams.
Mm-hmm.
I think that you look at the scores from last year when we played them and their scores against teams that we played last year, and looking at that Paola score from when they played Paola last year and played them this year, it's definitely a flip-flopped. I just think it comes down to our offense. I think if we can score anywhere from 14 to 20 points and our defense plays as good as they did last week, that we have a fighting chance.
Yeah, last week the Vikings I think they just had, I don't even know if you want to call them first game jitters.
Yeah.
It was just really just a lot of kids that haven't played much varsity football. So I'm sure there were some butterflies, but the coaches have had a week to get some kinks worked out. Hauk, I think, will play better tonight. I think the offensive line will play better tonight. And I agree with you. They're going to need to. I'm going to say 3. I'd like to see 3 touchdowns tonight to keep it competitive.
Yep.
If you've been watching, if you've paid attention over the years to Fort Scott football, you're going to see a lot of what you're used to seeing from them. I've watched some of their game against Paola, and looks like something similar to a split back veer offense. It's a heavy run heavy offense, an option offense. They're going to keep it on the ground a lot. They'll mix in some passes. They're going to run some traps. They're going to run some counters. On the defensive side, their base defense look like just your traditional 4-3 defense, 4 down linemen, 3 linebackers. They've essentially ran – there's been some years where they haven't ran the same stuff, but it's going to look very similar to a lot of Fort Scott teams we've seen over the last several years. And so it's kind of one of those deals where we kind of know what's coming. The Parsons coaches definitely know what's coming, and they've prepared their team for what's coming. It's just a matter of whether or not you can stop it.
Yeah, you just got to I feel like we have the skill set at the linebacker position on the defense. I feel like our defense is pretty solid, and I think we can stop the run to an extent to make them throw the ball, and that's what we need to get is to those third and 7, 3rd and 8, and make them throw the ball. And we have to try to keep them on their side of the field. We can't give them short fields like we did last week. I think we had three of the touchdowns for Lebec County last week was 28-yard, 38-yard, and 50-yard. So 3 of them were half a field or less. I mean,
right.
If you're giving them that good a field position, you're just running behind the entire game. So we need to move the ball on offense, get some first downs, run some clock, and win the field position battle. I mean that's more than anything really. Just trying to keep the ball on their side of the field and eliminate the big plays. I mean, you don't want those 50, 60-yard gashers that.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean sometimes those things are going to happen, but if you can limit them to just a couple, I have a good feeling that we can hang in this game the way if our defense plays the way they did last week.
Yeah, defense did some good things last week, and I think about the first thing out of your mouth was you thought the big key was our offense.
Yeah.
And I agree with that because Even if we don't score a lot of points, we're going to have to sustain some drives and let the defense get some rest, because Fort Scott, their whole system is based on kind of grinding things out, wearing down the defense. And I tell you, well, we saw it against Frontenac last year. Man, when a team can just run the ball consistently all night long, I mean, by the fourth quarter, the defense is just going to be gassed.
Looks like we got Oplotnik as the head ref, Scott.
Yep, I think you're right. The Vikings are now 2-0, it looks like, on coin tosses. And this last week they chose to receive. They went ahead and deferred until the second half this time. So Parsons will be kicking off to the Fort Scott Tigers. Fort Scott in their home red uniforms with white helmets. Vikings in their traveling white uniforms with the gold helmets, blue and gold trim. Both teams 0-1 on the young season.
Looks like Dexter Williams Sr.
He is
far back, but I don't know if we can get it that far back. It might be one of these up guys that end up returning this.
Yeah, and it'd be fine with me if they kicked it away from Williams. He's pretty.
Yeah,
he's pretty fast. He's their top receiver. I'll be fine with one of those pooch kicks and let one of the up men take it. Just seconds away from the opening kickoff, and here we go. It is a shorter kick and fielded at the 35, and then the Vikings are right there. Actually fielded, I think, around the 40, and then a 3-yard return. So the Tigers with pretty good field position to start this game. 1st and 10 from their own, I believe, 43-yard line. They're going to mark it at the 44-yard line. So senior quarterback Cannon is his name, and he's got a pretty good arm, but they're going to keep the ball on the ground more often than not. They give it to the second man through. He barrels through the first wave of Vikings for a gain of 5 up to the 49.
Yeah, 5-yard gain there.
Defense played pretty darn well for the most part last week, especially for it being the first game of the season. And they're going to need to duplicate that effort here tonight. Toss play to the near side. Some nice blocking out there. This is going to be a big gain for a first down. We do have a flag.
Might be a hold.
All the way down to the Viking 32-yard line. Hopefully it's coming back.
Yeah, they're pointing for, I think, a hold, Scott.
It's an illegal use of hands. So this is coming back.
Is that a spot foul, Scott?
A lot of these penalties at the high school level are from the spot of the foul. So it's still going to be
10 yards from the 38.
That's going to be a more substantial penalty than I realized. Yeah, because the penalty was, like, it happened around the Vikings' 43-yard line. So after the penalty yardage marked off.
10 yards, yeah.
Yeah, back to the Tiger 47-yard line, and that will bring up 2nd down and 7.
So essentially they lost 2 yards, but they keep the down.
But they keep the down.
That was a good run there by Clayton on that.
Oh, now we have a timeout. Fort Scott coach upset because he had to burn an early timeout. Something was wrong with the personnel. So we'll step away for a 30-second break, and we'll be back with more. You're listening to Viking Football on V93.
Life is about movement, and the human body is like any high-performance machine. When miles add up, parts wear down, and that's when pain begins, and here's where it ends. At Labette Health, our nationally recognized orthopedic and sports medicine surgeons use advanced techniques to reduce recovery times and relieve pain for miles to come. Feel like new again at Labette Health in Parsons, Kansas. For more information, go to labettehealth.com.
And welcome back to Fort Scott High School. Scott Marlowe, Tony Fuentes with you. Just underway, 10:58 to go in quarter number 1, tied at 0. Fort Scott 2nd and 7 from their own 47. Right up the middle for a nice gain into Viking territory.
Be about 3rd and 2.
Fort Scott, they're going to grind it out most of the evening on the ground, and they're going to kind of when you least expect it, Tony, they'll sprinkle in a pass.
Well, if they're getting 5 yards of carry, I don't see them changing that up too much.
Not any time in the near future. Vikings crowd the line of scrimmage, and they are there.
They got him. It's going to be 4th down.
Gang tackling.
That was Ryder Newton on the carry, senior.
So we'll see what Fort Scott wants to do. It's going to be 4th and 1. Ball spotted on the Viking 47-yard line.
This could be one of those where they show run and do a little toss to the outside, maybe a bubble screen or something, but it'd be interesting to see. They brought in some different personnel.
Drayton Marlowe will be split to the far side of the field, so a big play here early in the first quarter. Toss play to the far side. It's a first down. Vikings had pretty good pursuit, but Fort Scott only needed to gain a little over a yard. So it ends up being an easy first down to the Viking 42-yard line.
Yeah, we stopped them there on that 3rd and 2, but they gave it to the back instead of the first guy through. Ryder Newton had ran it twice for 5 yards, and then they threw it to Clayton on that last one.
I formation. Cannon takes the snap, gives it to the tailback. Oh, the Vikes had him in the backfield. Now they wrap him up and throw him down for a loss.
Yeah, that was a great pursuit by the Vikings. Eric Keaton was the first one there, senior linebacker.
All the way back to the Viking 47-yard line, a loss of 5.
5-yard loss.
And those are the kind of things we saw. We saw flashes of that last week against the Grizzlies.
Yeah, Breland Summers did it several times last week. Got the running backs for 5 to 10-yard losses.
Cannon takes the snap. He wants to throw this time. Rolls to the right. Has a man open, and he missed him. It falls incomplete.
Yeah, Andre Ford, the cornerback out there, dove for it, but I don't think there was any way he's going to catch it. But yeah, he was the closest person to that pass.
He was fully extended on that interception attempt. So now 3rd and long, and Tony, back in the pregame, this is what you were hoping for.
Yeah, force them to throw it but I mean, they went for it on 4th down this last time. I mean, they could still run it, pick up half of it, and go for it on 4th.
Oh, yeah, they definitely don't have to get all 15 on this one, and they do keep it on the ground, and it's going to go nowhere. Swarming Viking defense, pushing the ball carrier backwards. They're going to give him –
Dakari Jones, the first one through? Vikings come up with the ball.
This came out after the whistle blew.
Yeah, Dakari Jones had the ball laying on the ground. That was odd.
So now it looks like on 4th and about 14, Fort Scott does bring out the kicking unit. High snap. Great job by the kicker. He's in trouble and ends up getting off a great kick anyway, and hopefully it'll bounce into the end zone just barely.
That was close to being down at the 1.
That was a great kick because that was a high snap.
Yeah,
and the kicker, who's also the quarterback, Caden Cannon, used his athleticism to haul that in and get off a great kick. But the Vikings catch a break, and it rolls in to the end zone. Vikings will have it 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line.
Well, we got a little bit of a break. I'm going to thank some of our sponsors: Labette Health, Bartlett Co-op, Carson Wall Funeral Homes, Labette Community College, Elm Haven Nursing Home and Woodridge Estates, Tank Connection, Clemens Insurance Agency, Commercial Bank, Eye Care Associates of Parsons, Doctors Newland, Gilmore, and Ray, Parsons District Schools, and we'll get the rest of them on the next one.
And check this out, Tony. It's the sophomore quarterback
Preston
getting the start tonight, Heitman, and he wants to throw. He's in trouble. He's going to pull it down, and he's going to take off running, spin move, and it's going to end up being probably no gain, maybe a yard. But you can see he has some athleticism.
Yeah.
Just didn't have enough time to survey the field, and after that one play,
And Houck's back in there,
I
yeah.
think Houck's going to come back in.
That's not a bad option either, though,
No,
Scott,
it's
to
not.
change it up, keep them thinking, you know. You never know what they're going to do, so we'll see what happens here.
Houck is in the shotgun. 2nd and 9 for the Vikings. Vikings keep it on the ground, give it to Henson. Finding the edge. He's got one man to beat out there. Oh, man, big collision on the sidelines.
And that sideline, Scott, basically the sideline is in the crowd.
Yeah, it's right. It's kind of right there, isn't it?
Yeah,
Not a whole lot of space
like,
over there.
There's no space between the sideline and the benches for the visiting team.
So Henson, they ruled him stepping out at the 25-yard line. That'll bring up 3rd and 5 for the Vikings. 7:06 to go in quarter number 1. We are tied at 0.
Got an open guy down here on the bottom.
Yeah, gave him a lot of space.
Yeah, I think throw a quick one to O'Banion or Largent, whoever that is. I can't tell which one.
Out from the shotgun. And
throws
that's who
it
they
to
go to. Oh, right through his hands and then nearly caught off the deflection, but it falls incomplete.
They had it, Scott. That was the first down.
Connor
Largent.
Largent.
He had it.
You know he wants that one back.
Yeah.
And those are the kind of things that the Vikings will improve on as the season progresses.
100%.
So after that incomplete pass, the Vikings will be forced to punt. Low snap. Nice job by Schultz to save that low punt.
Good
and then he
roll.
gets a great roll down inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. So nice job by Schultz kind of flipping the field there for the Vikings. 6:51 to go in our opening quarter. Still tied at 0 as the Fort Scott offense trots onto the field.
We'll finish the sponsors here real quick. Forbes Hoffman Funeral Homes, Labette Center for Mental Health Services, Community National Bank, Wood Insurance Center, Roy's Auto Service, Bowen Pharmacy, Parsons Educational Foundation, Labette Bank, Snyder Lawn Care, and SEK Ortho, Doctors Mosier and Meister. Thank you to all our sponsors.
1st and 10. Tailback gets it on the first down carry, and the Viking defense.
Swarming.
Boy, that defensive line playing a good first quarter. That's going to be a loss on the play.
They're almost moving as a unit. There's no separation between the. There's like 5 guys in a row. It's like a wall. There's nowhere to go between them.
Kane Leon was a ball carrier. He's not a big kid, 140 pounds, and it ends up being about a 4-yard loss. So 2nd and 14, backs are split. Cannon wants to throw. Look out.
Intercepted.
Nearly picked by Schultz. I think maybe he saw that a split second too late.
Yeah. He wants that one back. He just hit himself in the helmet. Yeah, he wanted that interception. Man.
That happened on LC's opening possession last week. The Vikings looked like they were going to have an interception and bobbled it and weren't able to haul it in. So, had the dropped pass, that would have been a first down. Potential interception there that was dropped. So the Vikings just need to shore some things up, and I think they can hang with this Fort Scott team. Draw play.
Oh, wow.
And
that's a good tackle,
pretty nice pickup, but, nice open field tackle. I think that was Ford.
4th and 6. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, they're going to kick it away.
Wow.
Yeah, because they're on their side of the field.
Yeah,
so the Tigers 42-yard line. So nice job. Another stop by this Viking defense. Schultz back at about his own 25-yard line. Cannon to boot it away. Much better snap this time. A bad kick. So hope it doesn't hit a Viking.
Yeah,
he shanks it. And
great field position to start.
They're going to down it right around the Viking 45-yard line.
Yeah,
special teams, Tony, you never know what you're going to get at the high. You talk about it at the pro level all the time, but, man, it's so critical. It can be such a game changer at the high school level.
Yeah, but if you got a good punter, man, it can change the game in a hurry.
And looks like we have a timeout on the field.
Not sure who called it.
Yeah, that's kind of strange. Well, there's 5:29 to go in the first quarter. We're tied at 0. We'll step away for just a 30-second break. You're listening to Viking Football on V93.
Bowen Pharmacy supports the Parsons Vikings here, and here, and here. It's our goal to keep you covered. At Bowen Pharmacy, we give no excuses for you not to make it to the game. And it's always a great day to be a Viking.
And we're back live at Fort Scott High School. 1st and 10 for the Vikings from their own 44-yard line. We're tied at 0. Put a man in motion. Toss play, and Schultz wants to throw deep, looking for Largent.
Oh, pass interference. Woo. Wow.
Broken up. I would need to see a replay on that.
Man, that was close, Scott.
Did that hit the Fort Scott player's helmet?
It might have. Wow, that was close to being a pass interference, but it was right there. It was a bang-bang play. The referee was standing straight across from him.
Little trickery by Coach Scheibe. And, Largent, he had a step on his man.
It was just a little underthrown.
Just a little bit.
But he's also not the quarterback.
That's true. 3 receivers to the near side for the Vikings. 2nd and 10. Hauk gives it to Henson. He's got a nice hole up the middle, and he's got the first down. Brought down, I think, by a safety back in the secondary at around the Fort Scott 42-yard line.
Yeah, that's a big gash there for Henson, getting us into Tiger territory here. Viking
offense already looking, more overall more fluid than they did last week. Kind of a bunched formation for the Vikes. There's the snap. Now it's going to be a toss play to Henson. Looked like a hold. And now flag comes in late as they tackle Henson at the 40-yard line. But
the crowd might have helped that one.
I won't argue with the call because there was a jersey tug. It was a hold, but the referee, you're right. He didn't throw the flag until he heard it from the crowd.
Yeah.
And that shouldn't happen.
No.
If you see it, fine. And it is going to be a holding call on the Vikings. Who knows? Maybe his flag was stuck, Tony. Maybe he couldn't get it out of his pocket or something. I don't know.
I'm sure that's what it was. It had to have been.
So that'll back the Vikes up 10 yards back into Parsons territory. Right around the Viking 47-yard line.
1st and 20.
Yep, 1st and 20 for the Vikes, or rather, first. It says 2nd on the scoreboard, but I think it is first. It should be first down, which is what they have officially across the way.
They changed it. Yep.
Hauk from the shotgun. Gives it to Jones.
Dakari Jones.
And looked like he had a pretty nice hole, but then a nice job filling the gap by the Fort Scott defense. But Jones still gets it back into Fort Scott territory to the Tiger 49-yard line. 3.5 minutes to go in quarter number 1. Clock on the move. We are tied at 0. Vikes have been able to stop Fort Scott on their first 2 possessions. Vikes with the ball for the second time as they send Schultz into the slot.
We got
Ford.
O'Banion in as a tight end, and Largent as a wide receiver on the other side.
And a stacked receiver set here on the near side. Oh, somebody moved early, I think. No flag. Draw play to Henson, and nice job by the Fort Scott defense converging on the Viking running back. It's going to be 3rd and long for the Vikings.
No gain on that one.
So it's 3rd and 17. Again, Tony, especially at the high school level, one of those situations where you don't have to get all 17 yards here. If the Vikings can pick up 10, but roughly half, they can pick up roughly half, then they'll be in a position where they could go for it on 4th down.
It seems like they're giving the receivers some space out there.
Schultz in the slot there.
There's
like
nobody covering him.
One of the cornerbacks is going to come over there and cover it. They do a little screen pass. This is going to be a nice pickup for Henson. Look out. He's at the 35, 30, 20, 10, 5. And it is going to be a Viking touchdown off the screen pass. Hauk to Henson. And the Vikings have their first lead of the young season, 6-0 over Fort Scott, 2:01 to go.
Yeah, these
in the opening quarter.
Extra points are going to be critical to Scott. I have a feeling this game's going to come down. If just the way it looks, it could come down to a 2-point conversion or a kick.
And the Vikes are attempting the extra point, and it's no good. I know that was, I think that
might have been blocked.
It may have been partially blocked. I was kind of blocked a little bit up here in the press box, but I think they went. The Vikings went for 2 last week, didn't they? So I think that was their first attempt to go for 1. So it's no good. 6-0 though. Vikes have the lead with 2:01 to go in the first quarter. We'll just keep it right here at Fort Scott High School. Still having some technical issues on the radio side of the broadcast, and we're hoping to get that going before the end of the night.
Hopefully the video stream's going through okay. If you're out there and the video's doing okay, just give me a text. Let me know how it's doing. Yeah, Scott, that was a great run. That was a great call.
It was a great call. It was perfectly designed and very well executed by the Vikings, basically perfectly executed, because you have to, when you run those screen passes, those blockers have to show a lot of discipline.
Yep.
And that young offensive line did a great job, and man, that was close to 50 yards, wasn't
49
it?
yards.
49 yards. That's what I thought. So 49-yard. It'll be a 49-yard pass.
From Houck to Henson.
For Houck to Henson, but it was essentially probably a 40-yard scamper for Henson.
Almost the full 4. I think he caught it at the 47 or 48. So it was just barely over the line of scrimmage.
So a pooch kick fielded at about the 30-yard line, and a flag comes in after a nice return out to about the 43-yard line.
That might have just been the marker, Scott. I don't think it was a flag. I think he was just throwing the little beanbag to where he started returning it from. I thought it was a flag, but it was just the beanbag.
Creed Clayton was the return man.
Similar field position on every drive so far for Fort Scott, between the 40 and 45.
Backs are split. Fumble. Cannon picks it up, gets hit as he throws, and
nearly intercepted.
Diving attempt
by Andre Ford again.
Yeah, that was, receivers really weren't even looking yet, because Ford had a low snap, I think, or he just fumbled the snap and then was under a lot of duress and then got hit as he threw, and that's why the ball was underthrown.
Scott, I talked in the early game about, if the defense can stop the run and force them to do other stuff. I think they're already in panic mode. I feel like
it looks like they're getting out of their comfort zone.
Exactly.
Running play, nice push by the offensive line, but the Viking defense retaliates, ends up shoving the runner backwards, and it's going to be across the 45 to the 46 for forward progress.
Because of the first down, throw incomplete, and then just only a 3-yard run, you're putting them in 3rd and long again, and they're still on their side of the field. So Vikings on defense have played well.
3rd and 7, Cannon under center. He wants to throw. Little timing pattern is going to be overthrown, and he's hurt.
Yeah, you got
to. I shouldn't say Cannon is hurt. It's actually, I think, one of the linemen, and we hope he's okay. Pounds the turf out of frustration. So it's going to be 4th and 7 for Fort Scott. Vikings leading this one 6-0. Minute 16 to go in quarter number 1. We'll step away for a 30-second break and be back with more. You're listening to Viking Football on V93.
Labette Community College is meeting the need for an increased demand in qualified radiographers. Our radiography students will train on the latest technology in a hospital simulation environment.
I wanted to be able to go into a career where I could help people. And if you're going to go into that field in this part of the 4-state area, LCC is the only place to come.
Tuition is nearly half the cost of universities. Scholarship and financial aid available for those who qualify. Text radiography to 620-293-6671 for more information, or visit labette.edu.
I don't know if they're got the punting unit out there or not, Scott. Doesn't look like it. Well, yeah.
Yep, welcome back to Fort Scott High School, and there's going to be another punt for Fort Scott, facing 4th and 7 from their own 46. Vikes lead this one 6-0. Low snap.
Oh, wow.
Punter's in trouble.
Oh, wow.
And then punts it off one of his own. That hit a Fort Scott player first, so it'll
Had
have
to
to be
have.
down right where it touched the Fort Scott player, as Fort Scott having some special team issues here in the first quarter, and the Vikings are going to be gifted outstanding field position at the Fort Scott 43.
Yeah, this has to be a kind of a shell shock for Fort Scott. I think they came in thinking they could just run it down our throat, which the first few plays they did. They had two 5-yard runs, a 3-yard run, got a first down right there on that first possession, and then stopped them a couple of times, got them for a loss, and then made them start throwing the ball, and they haven't completed a pass yet. So, I mean, I think we're getting them in there what they're not comfortable doing, and I think it's working out for our defense.
Yeah, it's been about the best first quarter the Vikings could have hoped for, coming up here to enemy territory and leading 6-0. Hauk on first down wants to throw, puts it out on the flat to Henson. He gets around one man. He's down to the 35, tackled at the 33-yard line. You know, Henson,
yeah,
we know what a strong runner he is, but he may not get enough credit for his overall athleticism.
They're moving the sticks.
Yeah, that's going to be a first down. Right at the 33-yard line. Nope, they're going to say just short. They started to move him. He must be about a foot short. So 2nd and short for the Vikings. Now they changed their mind again, Tony.
Did they?
Now they're moving the sticks. So
Yeah.
we'll let the chains get reset. So 1st and 10.
Yeah, here in the early going, I have Henson on the ground, 4 rushes for 18 yards, 2 catches for 59 yards, and one of them a touchdown.
Yeah, he's showed a lot of speed on that screen pass that went for a touchdown, and there he showed some pretty nifty footwork to make one man miss.
He's juking and getting into the open spots perfectly.
Hauk takes the snap. He keeps it himself, and he's got a little bit of an opening, and he gets down close to the 30-yard line. So on the option play, Hauk keeps it himself.
Yeah, I think our linemen are talking to the to one of the refs like, hey, I'm getting thrown around here like a rag doll.
Like they're going to say that Hauk is down at the 32-yard line.
Oh, I don't think that's a very good spot.
From my angle, I thought it was
No.
closer to the 30, but maybe his knee touched or something.
Yeah.
But that is the end of the first quarter with the Vikings leading it 6-0 over the Fort Scott Tigers. We'll be back with quarter number 2 in 30 seconds. You're listening to Viking Football on V93.
Discover what you've been missing in Parsons, Kansas. Curious Minds Discovery Zone, a children's museum that inspires a love of learning, with hands-on exhibits for all ages to imagine, create, learn, and discover. Kids enjoy looking through microscopes, building on our magnetic ball run wall, creative play in our doctor's office or grocery store, and lots more. Discover, explore, Parsons, Kansas.
Welcome back, everybody, at Fort Scott High School. Scott Marlowe, Tony Fuentes with you. Brody Wright taking care of our live video stream tonight. Good start for the Vikings as we get started with the second quarter. Vikes leading the Tigers 6-0. Vikes have a 2nd and 9 coming up from the Fort Scott 32-yard line. Hauk in the shotgun. Henson on his left shoulder. They give it to Henson. Has one block, gets away from one tackler, and falls forward inside the 30 to about the 28 or 29-yard line.
He might have picked up 4 or 5 there.
So a manageable 3rd down coming up for the Vikes. It'll be about 3rd and 5. You know, Coach Scheibe and his staff have to be so pleased, Tony. You know, I think they were pretty, tough way to start the season last week, losing to their rival to the south, the LC Grizzlies. Team has come up here to Fort Scott and is fighting hard in the first half. 5 seconds on the play clock. 3rd and 5 for the Vikes. From the shotgun, Houck gives it to Henson right up the middle. And he gets
short by a
inside
yard.
the 25 down to close to the 24, but you know the Vikings will go for it here. 4th and about a yard, maybe a yard and a half at the most. And that's going to be right at 4th and 1. 10:55 to go in the first half. Well, they backed it up, Tony. Why do they keep backing it up?
I have no idea, because I swore he was
Now it's more of a
full,
4th and 2.
full yard inside that 25, but
yeah, so they had it at the 24-yard line. They back it up just inside the 25, but 4th and 2 for the Vikes. And the team just kind of standing around. I wonder if we have a timeout coming. Sure enough, Coach Scheibe's going to burn a timeout. 10:28 to go in the first half. Vikes lead at 6-0. We'll take another 30-second break. You're listening to Viking Football on V93.
Hi, I'm Shelby, one of the pharmacists at Bowen Pharmacy. Not only do we keep you up to date on your COVID and flu vaccines, but we also offer pneumonia, shingles, hepatitis, meningitis, tetanus, and whooping cough vaccines. Based on the latest CDC guidelines, we can recommend the vaccines to keep you and your family healthy. Thank you for always choosing Bowen Pharmacy. We're here today and we'll be here tomorrow.
And once again, we're back live at Fort Scott High School. Big play coming up, 4th and 2 for the Vikes from the Tiger 25-yard line. If you're joining us late, Vikings leading the Tigers 6-0. 49-yard screen pass. It went for a touchdown from Houck to Henson, the only score of the night. And Vikes.
False start.
False start, and I think that was going to work. Tony, it was a different formation. It looked like it was going to be a direct snap. Yep, Wildcat type formation to Henson. And now all of a sudden that 4th and 2 is going to turn into 4th and 7. And I said that'll make a coach just pull their hair out. You know, you call a timeout, you get everybody on the same page, and then a penalty happens.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, I think if Chandler takes that on a direct snap, got all that momentum running, I think he was going to pick that up pretty easily. Now,
probably have to throw. 4th and 7 from the Tiger 30. They fake the handoff. Houck in trouble. He gets away from the rusher, throws it, and it's going to be caught short of the first down. Probably even a loss on the play. That was nicely defended by the Tigers. And
yeah, it could have been worse.
So that false start penalty proves to be costly as the Vikes turn it over on downs.
Still an impressive little drive there, Scott. We showed that we can run the ball on them, and I think that's gonna pay dividends down the road. I think we're gonna be able to run on them here in the rest of this game.
So the Tigers get up to the line of scrimmage, down 6-0. They run a little trap play, and the Vikes are ready for it. Man, great effort by the Fort Scott running back, because he's still going to be a loss on the play, but he's not a big kid, and it took several Vikings to bring him down.
That was Clayton. He's the one that had a pretty good run there on that first drive that got brought back because of a hold or illegal use of the hands. So he's got some speed once he gets to the outside, but we caught him on the edge before he got to the outside.
So 2nd and 13. On an
pitch
option play, they toss it out. It's going to be a decent pickup. But
Henson with a great tackle.
You know, you talked about kind of that our defense moving as a unit.
Yeah.
And they just same thing there. Just kind of, I keep using the words, that swarming defense.
Yeah.
And they're just doing a nice job of swarming to the football. And
they're moving so much better this week. Instead of just kind of standing around watching the play happen, they're reacting to the ball.
Third and 6 for the Tigers from their own 36. Running
Stuff
play.
the line. They
and
got him.
Just nothing there.
Wow. Yeah, I think Fort Scott's just beside themselves. They can't run the ball.
Because they have had so much success, just say over the last decade, and we haven't played Fort Scott every year because ever since we dropped out of the SEK, but the times that we have played them, they have pretty much had their way at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
But they're going to have to kick it away again.
The last 2 punts have been atrocious.
Yeah, it's been a problem. Cannon waiting. It's a good snap. We have a flag. And run ball skips out of bounds. Not a very good kick. Went out of bounds around the 43-yard line of Parsons. And if the Vikings would probably decline this penalty anyway and take the good field. They're going to go with an illegal shift. And
yeah.
I don't know if the Vikings, if they can just tack that on, that would be great. That'd get it up close to midfield.
That's pretty good field position. I don't know.
Yeah, so they'll either
make them re-kick.
They'll either decline it, or if they can take the 5 yards.
Is it just a 5 yard?
Should be a 5-yard penalty, and if they can just tack it on to where the ball went out of bounds, that should put the ball up to around the Fort Scott 48-yard line, rather the Viking 48-yard line.
That's exactly what they're doing, Scott. You're completely right. And that's great field position again for the Vikings.
Yeah, that's fantastic for the Vikes.
Yeah, this is the third possession with great field position in a row. And that helps an offense too. When you
absolutely.
When you're backed up in your own end zone, I mean that's tough to try to dig yourself out. And this has got to be a great feeling for these kids out there.
Schultz split to the near side. Hauk takes the snap, gives it to Henson, and he gets bottled up right away.
Yep, nothing there.
That was a great
loss.
Defensive play by the Tigers.
I thought Hauk was going to throw it. I thought he was faking it. It was like a delayed handoff there, Scott. And because the defender got there at the same time as he was trying to hand it to Henson.
I don't know if I'm saying the young man's name right. Brody Stoughton, 200-pound defensive lineman, blew up that play, and the Vikings facing a 2nd and 15 now from their own 43-yard line. Hauk stays in the shotgun. He wants to throw. They go with the screen pass again, but we have a flag this time.
It's definitely probably going to be on us if they're throwing a flag that
I think we got a hold, sure enough. So all of a sudden, penalties starting to pile up just a bit on the Vikes. They had that crucial false start on 4th down on their last possession. This is going to turn 2nd and 15 into about 2nd and 25.
I think he's asking if he wants to.
And they could decline it because there was basically no gain on the play.
Would it be third? Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be 3rd down if they decline it.
If they decline, it'd be 3rd and 12.
And they do decline it. It's going to be 3rd and 15. Or rather, as you said, Tony, 3rd and 12. As the hold occurred at the 45-yard line. So 3rd and 12 for the Vikes from their own 45. 2 receivers to the far side.
There's nobody on the slot receiver again.
Yeah, they give. And on third and long, I get it a little bit, but it's been that way all night.
So I guess they're fine with giving up 5 or 6 yards.
That must be what it is, yeah.
But that doesn't make any sense at all.
So we have another timeout called by the Vikings. 7:10 to go in the first half. Vikes leading at 6-0. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Viking football on V93.
At Labette Community College, we're passionate about medicine and compassionate about people. Our highly trained instructors provide innovative career-specific education in the field of diagnostic medical sonography. Do you already have an associate or bachelor's degree in healthcare? Earn an additional certification in sonography. LCC offers a 12-month completely online program with a clinical component. In as little as 1 year, specialize in OB, abdomen, or vascular. For more information, text pound SONO to 620-293-6671 today. Apply online at labette.edu.
And we are back live at Fort Scott High School. Third and 12. They have fourth down on the scoreboard, but it is third down. 3rd and 12 for the Vikes from their own 45. They lead this one 6-0. Houck looks over the defense. So Banyan in motion, rolls to the right, wants to throw. Looking for Schultz.
Wow,
What a catch by Wyatt Schultz. He comes down with it for a first down at the Fort Scott 35-yard line.
Wow, that was a
great throw by Houck and an athletic catch by Wyatt Schultz.
He got up in the air on that, Scott.
You know, he showed a lot of athleticism. First down for the Vikes. They're going to spot it at the Fort Scott 34-yard line. Parsons leading at 6-0. They're on the move. 1st and 10, 6:50 to go in the first half. On the shotgun, it's going to be a running play to Henson's got a lead blocker. Look out, 30, 25, 20, one man to beat, 10, 5, and shoved down or pulled down right at the 5-yard line. The safety had a good angle on Henson. Otherwise, that was going to be touchdown number 2 for the Viking running back.
30-yard run.
Viking coaches and the rest of the team very motivated and excited on the far sideline. And I think Fort Scott coach is upset. They had to burn another timeout.
I think there was a questionable call there. Kid blocking. It looked like it could have been called a hold. And I think that's what the coaching staff for Fort Scott was so upset about.
So possibly a missed
call. It was around the 20-yard line. But it didn't look like – it looked like he was just blocking. He looked like he had his arms to where it wasn't like a hold. It was just a block. But he was pushing that guy pretty good that was trying to go after Henson to tackle him.
Yeah, one of the coaches for Fort Scott is talking to one of the officials.
This is a must-have, Scott.
Yeah, 1st and goal from the 4. Vikings punch it in. You know they're going to use Henson. They're either going to give it to Henson or they're going to fake the handoff to Henson and use him as a decoy.
I would run it 4 times if I had to.
It's going to be an I formation for the Vikes, something we haven't seen a lot of.
Yeah, Keaton's blocking.
Houck under center. Takes the snap.
Oh,
boy,
wow.
And in the backfield for a 5-yard loss.
Wow, that just got blown up. Whew.
That was the 200-pound defensive lineman leading the charge again for the Tigers. That was a huge defensive play for Fort Scott.
Yeah.
That changes everything now.
That might change where we might have to do a little screen pass or something.
On 2nd down, Houck
throws
to the
5.
Schultz dives into the end zone. It's going to be a touchdown for the Parsons Vikings. 9-yard touchdown pass from Houck to Schultz. And a very quiet Fort Scott crowd. You know they're shocked.
Crickets here.
Trail the Vikings now 12-0, and the Vikes will line up to go for 2. Great job by the Viking offense. Great call by Coach Scheibe and his staff. And, you know, the Vikings, after that 5-yard loss, Tony, on 1st down to be able to rebound.
Yeah.
And honestly, that was wide open.
Yeah.
You know, that was great design and great execution.
They're giving Schultz so much space in that slot position. I mean, they're doing the same thing right here on this 2-point conversion.
Possibly delay game. Sure enough, delay game on the Vikings. So now
that's fine.
From the 3-yard line, they'll back it up to the 8-yard line. Scheibe is asking, he's thinking that the play clock should have been reset.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to. I figure, you know, after a touchdown, you give personnel a little bit of time there, Scott. But it seemed like it went pretty quick on that clock.
Yeah, it sure did. So the Vikes going for 2. They lead at 12-0. Be a pass play, kind of thrown up for grabs. I think it may have been broken up, but there is a flag, actually maybe 2 flags, and they came in pretty early. I'm hoping maybe some sort of defensive holding.
Yeah. Here's Zoplotnik coming out.
Pass interference
defense
on Fort Scott. So that'll be.
Did we catch it? I thought we caught it.
It was caught very briefly, and then
Okay,
I think it got broken up.
Okay.
I believe so. It looks like it's going to be half the distance to the goal. So, and now the Vikings are going to go for 1. This is interesting.
Super interesting. Eric.
It's a good snap.
He got it.
Much better kick this time, and
That's
it
good.
splits the uprights. And with 5:45 to go in the first half, Vikings lead at 13-0.
That was Adam Reel on the kick, Scott.
Adam Reel boots it through. So Vikings lead by 13. We'll step away for 30 seconds. Be back with the kickoff. You're listening to Viking football on V93.
Life is about movement, and the human body is like any high-performance machine. When miles add up, parts wear down, and that's when pain begins, and here's where it ends. At Labette Health, our nationally recognized orthopedic and sports medicine surgeons use advanced techniques to reduce recovery times and relieve pain for miles to come. Feel like new again at Labette Health in Parsons, Kansas. For more information, go to labettehealth.com.
And we are back live at Fort Scott High School with the Vikings leading at 13-0. Vikes prepared to kick off. End over end kick that will be fielded at the Fort Scott 24-yard line. We return to the 35 and a spin move out to the 38-yard line.
Great tackle.
Nice tackle, decent field position for Fort Scott. But again, Tony's been very consistent all night for Fort Scott in that, between the 30 and 40-yard line, it seems like, for their starting field position.
Kane Leon on that great tackle there on that kick return. That kid had a lot of head of steam, and Leon just grabbed him and wrestled him to the ground. That was great.
Yeah, and again, Leon not a big kid, 140 pounds, so nicely done. So Fort Scott trying to get something going on the offensive end. Quarterback keeper. Cannon keeps it himself across the 45 to the 46-yard line. That was a great fake by Cannon. I thought the running back had it.
I thought we had him stuffed at the line of scrimmage. So now 2nd and 2. Yeah, this is what I think they wanted to do, was like stuff like this and be working with 2nd and 2s instead of 3rd and 7s and 8s. That's what's gotten them in trouble the first 4 drives.
2nd and 2 for Fort Scott from their own 46. Cannon under center. Backs are split. Toss play on the option, and it's going to be a first down across the 50 into Viking territory to the 49. So they're starting to mix things up a little bit.
Little trickery. That's throwing the Vikings off, because the Vikings are going after that first guy, and they are stopping that first guy, but both these last 2 plays have both been a little bit of trickery, and the Vikings are just going to have to keep an eye on that.
Viking defense will have to readjust. Just play good, disciplined football, which they've been doing this entire first half, and that's why they are pitching a shutout so far. 13-0. Vikes on top. Cannon. They run a little counter play, and it's going to be a nice gain inside the 40. Nice spin move down to the 35-yard line. And this is the best drive of the night for the Tigers.
Yeah, they're moving it pretty well in these first 3 plays.
That was Paxton Allen with the nice pickup for the Tigers. 1st and 10 from the Viking 35-yard line. Again, Vikes leading this one 13-0. Once again, backs are split. Cannon keeps it himself. Toss play, looking for the edge. Running back finds it. He's got the first down. Still on his feet and finally knocked out of bounds.
Yeah, Ryder Newton. He's the one that got those first 2 5-yard runs on that opening drive and really hasn't gotten anything until that play right there.
So these little option plays, tossing the ball out wide to the running backs, very effective for Fort Scott on this drive. They have it 1st and 10 from the Viking 20. This is the deepest they have been into Viking territory all night. Drayden Marlowe split to the near side. They do want to throw on 1st down, and leading the running back a little bit too much. It's going to fall incomplete. Cannon trying to hit Paxton Allen out in the flat, but it falls incomplete. 2nd and 10 from the Viking 20. 3:51 to go in the first half. Parsons leading the Tigers 13-0.
Yeah, defense still needs to be disciplined here. If they try to do a little trickery run play, and need to try to stop it for as little as they can, because it's definitely 4-down territory.
Yeah, they're going to have to get 3 more stops right here. Cannon on 2nd down. Running play over the right side. Nice push by the offensive line. It's going to be a 5-yard gain down to the 15. 3rd and 5 coming up for the Tigers. Ball spotted just inside the Viking 15-yard line. Clock on the move. 3:25 to go in the first half. Fort Scott trying to get on the board here late in the first half with Parsons leading it 13-0. Split backfield once again. Cannon tries to hand it off. Ends up keeping himself and the whole Viking defense.
No gain.
Now we have a flag after the play. Looked like Wyatt Schultz and Marlowe were going at it around the goal line, and this is a huge call right here. Who are they going to get? Or did they pick up the flag, Tony?
No, it's still on the ground.
Okay, they're just still discussing it. Going to be unsportsmanlike conduct on the Tigers.
Wow.
And that'll back them up 15 yards. I did not see what happened at all. I just saw the flag.
Does the play count, Scott, since it was after the play?
That's a good question. They've got 4th down up over there. If it was after the play,
I'm pretty sure it was after the
if
play.
it was a dead ball foul, then it definitely counts. And that's what they have across the way. 4th down, all the way back to the 28-yard line.
So they got to get to the 10.
And they have to get to the 10.
So they need 18-yard
yeah,
play.
4th and 18. What a big moment in the first half. So now they're going to have to throw. Dexter Williams is their best receiver, and that's who they're going to. Down the far near sideline. Looked like pass interference, sure enough.
Oh, man. I don't think he was going to catch that, Scott. All Wyatt has to do is turn around.
Yeah, Wyatt just I think his timing was just off a little bit. But this should not be an automatic 1st down, depending on where that penalty took place. I think it's just always a 15-yard penalty in the high school level. So it's going to make it a much more manageable 4th down, but we'll see how much yardage they.
So it's not an automatic 1st down.
Should not be an automatic 1st down. So the teams essentially trade 15-yard penalties.
Yep, they're still showing 4th down.
So
they spotted at what, the 13 or 14? 14 and a half?
Yep, it's just inside the 15 down to about the 14-yard line. 4th and about 3.5 yards to go. And a timeout. Big play for Fort Scott coming up and for the Viking defense. 2:53 to go in the first half. Vikes lead at 13-0. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Viking football on V93.
Bowen Pharmacy supports the Parsons Vikings here and here and here. It's our goal to keep you covered. At Bowen Pharmacy, we give no excuses for you not to make it to the game. And it's always a great day to be a Viking.
And we're back live at Fort Scott High School. 4th and 4 coming up for the Tigers. Parsons leading at 13-0. We just got official word that phone line is down back at the KLKC studios, and that's why there's no radio broadcast, and we won't be able to have one tonight, but I'm sure that'll be fixed in time for next week's game. But fortunately, live video stream up and running tonight, so we have that going for us. And here we go, 4th and 4.
I think it's going to be a run
for the Tigers. Backs are split. It's a toss play. Vikes trying to string it out.
Oh, he got him.
They got it in the backfield. Maybe a 1-yard gain by the time the play ended, but that is going to be a turnover on downs. Yeah. Viking defense, who we mentioned it several times, they played pretty well most of the night against LC.
That was a great open field tackle there, Scott.
Did you get the jersey number on that? That was spectacular.
I think it was Henson, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure it was Henson.
So
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's who it was.
Whoever it was, kudos to them, because if the Vikings are able to get a couple of first downs, Fort Scott will not see the ball again until the second half. This will be
essentially one first down?
Possibly just one, yeah, because Fort Scott is out of timeouts, so they won't be able to stop the clock. Now the Vikings just burned a timeout.
Yep, to avoid getting the 5-yard penalty for delay of game. This
will be the worst starting field position for the Vikings. It's going to be right around the 13 or 14-yard line. So they need to make sure they take care of the football. Can't turn it over, which they've been outstanding. You know, you look at this offense compared to last week, Tony, and it's almost like two different teams.
It is.
And honestly, I'm not all that surprised. I didn't know how we would match up with Fort Scott. Obviously, we match up pretty well. But, I mean, it's hard to describe 4 sophomores on the offensive line. And, the offensive line, it's just one unit.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's made up of 5 guys, but it's one unit, and they all have to be on the same page on every play. And they are playing much better as a unit here tonight. So here we go, 1st and 10. Give it to Henson. He's into the secondary. Nice run. He's at the 30, 35. Brought down around the 36-yard line.
Wow.
That's a gigantic play.
23-yard run by Chandler Henson.
And the Vikings, they're out of timeouts, but they don't have to be in any hurry at this point. If they're still in the back of their mind thinking, you know what, we want to try to get more points on the board. You know, they can't run the clock down, play clock down to 5 seconds on every play. But I wouldn't rush anything. Vikings do get the kickoff to start the second half, so they may just keep it on the ground here. See if Henson can rip. Oh, a fumble. Ball is into the backfield and recovered by the Tigers. The one thing the Vikings did not want to do. And that turnover may breathe some life into the Tigers.
Wow, that's unbelievable.
And they were going to keep it on the ground, Tony. I couldn't tell if Houck was going to try to pull the ball back from Henson and keep it himself, but there was just a bad exchange. And it is a turnover. And with 2:09 to go in the first half, Fort Scott has new life. By far their best starting field position.
At the 26.
About the 27, looks like the 27-yard line, and they want to go a little draw play, kind of delayed handoff, and it works to perfection inside the 15, down close to the 10. Boy, that's tough for the Viking defense, Tony. They came up huge, and then just a couple of plays later, they're back out there with their backs up against the wall. Fort Scott going with a little hurry up here. Both teams are out of timeouts. Cannon wants to throw. He's hit as he throws.
Oh, nearly
and it's short.
Intercepted.
Incomplete, and that will bring up 2nd down. I tell you, when Cannon has thrown, Tony, there have been several times, he has had a Viking defender right in his face.
Yeah, Eric Keaton, if he had just been a little taller, he could have probably intercepted that. There's a lot of green grass.
Clock is stopped with 1:46 to go in quarter number 2. 2nd and 10 for the Tigers from the Viking 12. Vikes lead this one 13-0. 2 receivers come to the near side, 1 to the far side. Toss play on the option to the 10, and tripped up at about the 7.
Yeah, it's going to be 3rd, and they can still get a first down inside the 2, right?
Yeah, they can still get a first down right around the 2-yard line. They've got it. Scoreboard shows 3rd and 6 from the 8.
Nearly intercepted
and a
again
pass play to the
by
end zone, incomplete.
Keaton, man, he's so close.
Yeah, a lot of near misses.
So 4th down.
Yeah, 4th down from the 8.
If we can stop them, we can just kneel
Then
it out.
we can just take a couple of knees and get to the locker room with that 13-0 lead intact.
Gotta stop them though.
Yeah.
This defense has been so good.
Defense has played outstanding here in the first half. Cannon, 4th down, drops back, wants to throw. He's got more time. They try to set up a screen, and it's going to be pushed in close to the goal line, and it is a touchdown.
Wow.
Tough break for the Viking defense. Looked like they were going to have a shutout going into the locker room, but that big turnover on the Vikings changes everything. And with a minute 13 to go in the first half, it is now 13-6. Vikes on top. Fort Scott will go for 1. This is big. Vikes lead by 7. Kick is on the way, and it is good. So minute 13 to go in the first half. Vikes lead at 13-7. We'll be back to the kickoff in 30 seconds. Listening to Viking football on V93.
Labette Community College is meeting the need for an increased demand in qualified radiographers. Our radiography students will train on the latest technology in a hospital simulation environment.
I wanted to be able to go into a career where I could help people. And if you're going to go into that field in this part of the four-state area, LCC is the only place to come.
Tuition is nearly half the cost of universities. Scholarship and financial aid available for those who qualify. Text radiography to 620-293-6671 for more information or visit labette.edu.
Back live, Fort Scott High School. Scott Marlowe and Tony Fuentes bringing you all the action. Brody Wright taking care of our live video stream this evening. Off the turnover, Fort Scott marches 27 yards and gets on the board. 13-7, Vikes on top. And Tony, unless there's a great return here, the Vikings, I'm assuming, will just take a couple of knees, get to the locker room. Parsons will get the second half kickoff. Caleb Hall, senior kicker. Low line drive kick, fielded at the 30-yard line, but they blow it dead. Somebody must have been offsides for the Fort Scott kicking team. That'll back them up 5 yards.
Preston Heitman was the up man that received that kickoff, and he was ready to run it.
Yeah, we've heard really good things about the sophomore. He actually took the first snap of the evening for the Vikes.
Yeah, they just backed him up 5.
So now they'll tee it up at the 35-yard line. Looks like it's second ticked off the clock. So a minute 12 to go in the first half. Vikes leading by 6. And they skip it along the ground. Heitman trying to get it, and he does. Runs into one man. Now this is Dakari Jones at the 40-45, and a late hit.
Into the referee,
yeah,
too.
Didn't look like it was really intentional, so no flag. Yep. I tell you, I think if Dakari Jones could have picked that ball up cleanly, Tony, it would have been, probably would have returned that into Fort Scott territory. But, I mean, this is good field position, but I just don't know if you take a chance.
Yeah, we'll see what Coach Scheibe does.
You've played so well here in the first half.
You'd hate to have that all erased.
You know, Coach, you never know what Coach Scheibe's going to pull out of his bag of tricks. I could almost see him taking a knee, act like you're going to run out the clock, and then on second down, throw it long. But it looks like the Vikings want to run a play here, and they give it to Henson. And he falls forward for a short gain up to about from the 47 to the 48. We go under 1 minute. 2nd and 9. Vikes in no hurry. Out and the offense get up to the line of scrimmage. Plenty of time on the play clock. 35 seconds on the game clock. Yeah, they can let this run all the way down to and about 16 seconds. Hauk, very patient. Hands off to Henson. He's got a hole. He's at the 45 and taken down right there, just short of the first down, and that will probably be the end of the first half. Both teams are out of timeouts. And I think Coach Scheibe more than happy to go to the locker room with the 6-point lead. Are they telling the team to huddle up, or rather to get up to the line of scrimmage? They did not get the snap off. I don't know if they were just trying to maybe get a cheap penalty somehow on Fort Scott, but anyway, they do not get the snap off, and halftime is here with your score. Parsons 13 and Fort Scott 7. We're going to step away for approximately 10 minutes, and then Tony and I will be back with the Bowen Pharmacy halftime show. You're listening to Viking football on V93.
Hi, I'm Shelby, one of the pharmacists at Bowen Pharmacy. Not only do we keep you up to date on your COVID and flu vaccines, but we also offer pneumonia, shingles, hepatitis, meningitis, tetanus, and whooping cough vaccines. Based on the latest CDC guidelines, we can recommend the vaccines to keep you and your family healthy. Thank you for always choosing Bowen Pharmacy. We're here today and we'll be here tomorrow.
At Labette Community College, we're passionate about medicine and compassionate about people. Our highly trained instructors provide innovative career-specific education in the field of diagnostic medical sonography. Do you already have an associate or bachelor's degree in healthcare? Earn an additional certification in sonography. LCC offers a 12-month completely online program with a clinical component. In as little as 1 year, specialize in OB, abdomen, or vascular. For more information, text pound SONO to 620-293-6671 today. Apply online at labette.edu.
Life is about movement, and the human body is like any high-performance machine. When miles add up, parts wear down, and that's when pain begins, and here's where it ends. At Labette Health, our nationally recognized orthopedic and sports medicine surgeons use advanced techniques to reduce recovery times and relieve pain for miles to come. Feel like new again at Labette Health in Parsons, Kansas. For more information, go to labettehealth.com.
Discover what you've been missing in Parsons, Kansas. Curious Minds Discovery Zone, a children's museum that inspires a love of learning, with hands-on exhibits for all ages to imagine, create, learn, and discover. Kids enjoy looking through microscopes, building on our magnetic ball run wall, creative play in our doctor's office or grocery store, and lots more. Discover, explore, Parsons, Kansas.
Life is about movement, and the human body is like any high-performance machine. When miles add up, parts wear down, and that's when pain begins, and here's where it ends. At Labette Health, our nationally recognized orthopedic and sports medicine surgeons use advanced techniques to reduce recovery times and relieve pain for miles to come. Feel like new again at Labette Health in Parsons, Kansas. For more information, go to labettehealth.com.
Bowen Pharmacy supports the Parsons Vikings here, and here, and here. It's our goal to keep you covered. At Bowen Pharmacy, we give no excuses for you not to make it to the game. And it's always a great day to be a Viking.
Discover what you've been missing in Parsons, Kansas. Curious Minds Discovery Zone, a children's museum that inspires a love of learning, with hands-on exhibits for all ages to imagine, create, learn, and discover. Kids enjoy looking through microscopes, building on our magnetic ball run wall, creative play in our doctor's office or grocery store, and lots more. Discover, explore, Parsons, Kansas.
At Labette Community College, we're passionate about medicine and compassionate about people. Our highly trained instructors provide innovative career-specific education in the field of diagnostic medical sonography. Do you already have an associate or bachelor's degree in healthcare? Earn an additional certification in sonography. LCC offers a 12-month completely online program with a clinical component. In as little as 1 year, specialize in OB, abdomen, or vascular. For more information, text pound SONO to 620-293-6671 today. Apply online at labette.edu.
Discover what you've been missing in Parsons, Kansas. Curious Minds Discovery Zone, a children's museum that inspires a love of learning, with hands-on exhibits for all ages to imagine, create, learn, and discover. Kids enjoy looking through microscopes, building on our magnetic ball run wall, creative play in our doctor's office or grocery store, and lots more. Discover, explore, Parsons, Kansas.
Labette Community College is meeting the need for an increased demand in qualified radiographers. Our radiography students will train on the latest technology in a hospital simulation environment.
I wanted to be able to go into a career where I could help people, and if you're going to go into that field in this part of the four-state area, LCC is the only place to come.
Tuition is nearly half the cost of universities. Scholarship and financial aid available for those who qualify. Text radiography to 620-293-6671 for more information or visit labette.edu.
Life is about movement, and the human body is like any high-performance machine. When miles add up, parts wear down, and that's when pain begins, and here's where it ends. At Labette Health, our nationally recognized orthopedic and sports medicine surgeons use advanced techniques to reduce recovery times and relieve pain for miles to come. Feel like new again at Labette Health in Parsons, Kansas. For more information, go to labettehealth.com.
Bowen Pharmacy supports the Parsons Vikings here, and here, and here. It's our goal to keep you covered. At Bowen Pharmacy, we give no excuses for you not to make it to the game. And it's always a great day to be a Viking.
Labette Community College is meeting the need for an increased demand in qualified radiographers. Our radiography students will train on the latest technology in a hospital simulation environment.
I wanted to be able to go into a career where I could help people, and if you're going to go into that field in this part of the four-state area, LCC is the only place to come.
Tuition is nearly half the cost of universities. Scholarship and financial aid available for those who qualify. Text radiography to 620-293-6671 for more information or visit labette.edu.
Hi, I'm Shelby, one of the pharmacists at Bowen Pharmacy. Not only do we keep you up to date on your COVID and flu vaccines, but we also offer pneumonia, shingles, hepatitis, meningitis, tetanus, and whooping cough vaccines. Based on the latest CDC guidelines, we can recommend the vaccines to keep you and your family healthy. Thank you for always choosing Bowen Pharmacy. We're here today and we'll be here tomorrow.
At Labette Community College, we're passionate about medicine and compassionate about people. Our highly trained instructors provide innovative career-specific education in the field of diagnostic medical sonography. Do you already have an associate or bachelor's degree in healthcare? Earn an additional certification in sonography. LCC offers a 12-month completely online program with a clinical component. In as little as 1 year, specialize in OB, abdomen, or vascular. For more information, text pound SONO to 620-293-6671 today. Apply online at labette.edu.
Discover what you've been missing in Parsons, Kansas. Curious Minds Discovery Zone, a children's museum that inspires a love of learning, with hands-on exhibits for all ages to imagine, create, learn, and discover. Kids enjoy looking through microscopes, building on our magnetic ball run wall, creative play in our doctor's office or grocery store, and lots more. Discover, explore, Parsons, Kansas.
Labette Community College is meeting the need for an increased demand in qualified radiographers. Our radiography students will train on the latest technology in a hospital simulation environment.
I wanted to be able to go into a career where I could help people. And if you're going to go into that field in this part of the four-state area, LCC is the only place to come.
Tuition is nearly half the cost of universities. Scholarship and financial aid available for those who qualify. Text radiography to 620-293-6671 for more information or visit labette.edu.
Life is about movement, and the human body is like any high-performance machine. When miles add up, parts wear down, and that's when pain begins, and here's where it ends. At Labette Health, our nationally recognized orthopedic and sports medicine surgeons use advanced techniques to reduce recovery times and relieve pain for miles to come. Feel like new again at Labette Health in Parsons, Kansas. For more information, go to labettehealth.com.
Hi, I'm Shelby, one of the pharmacists at Bowen Pharmacy. Not only do we keep you up to date on your COVID and flu vaccines, but we also offer pneumonia, shingles, hepatitis, meningitis, tetanus, and whooping cough vaccines. Based on the latest CDC guidelines, we can recommend the vaccines to keep you and your family healthy. Thank you for always choosing Bowen Pharmacy. We're here today and we'll be here tomorrow.
Discover what you've been missing in Parsons, Kansas. Curious Minds Discovery Zone, a children's museum that inspires a love of learning, with hands-on exhibits for all ages to imagine, create, learn, and discover. Kids enjoy looking through microscopes, building on our magnetic ball run wall, creative play in our doctor's office or grocery store, and lots more. Discover, explore, Parsons, Kansas.
And we are back live at Fort Scott High School. We are at halftime. It's time for the Eye Care Associate Halftime Show, brought to you by Eye Care Associates in Parsons, Doctors Newland, Gilmore, and Ray. Vikings leading at 13-7 at the break, Tony. Looked like it was going to be 13-0. Unfortunately, that late turnover by the Vikes proved to be costly, but the defense played well last week. I think they've been outstanding tonight. They just have really shut down this Fort Scott offense. And then, man, talk about big strides for the offense from week 1 to week 2. They've just looked better in every way imaginable.
Yeah, I have Andrew Houck for a little under 100 yards, about 95 yards passing. I've got Schultz for close to 30 yards receiving, and Henson for about 60 yards receiving. Schultz and Henson each with a touchdown, and then Henson with about 80 yards on the ground. Vikings with about close to 90 on the ground. So the Vikings offense essentially has 175, 180 yards. After the week 1, I don't think they even came close to topping 100 yards offensively last week.
Yeah.
So definitely a lot better on offense, and the defense has played, like you said, spectacular. But, after a while, that defense is just going to wear down. Eventually, I knew we couldn't pitch a shutout. I mean, Fort Scott was eventually going to score, but if it wasn't for that fumble, I don't think Fort Scott would have scored in the first half.
Yeah, I agree completely. Gave them a short field, just the 27 yards to go, and their one scoring play was an 8-yard screen pass for the touchdown. The Vikes got their first touchdown on a 49-yard screen pass from Houck to Henson, and then their second touchdown was that 9-yard pass from Houck to Wyatt Schultz. And, special teams have been an issue for Fort Scott in the first half. They had some issues. Vikings had an extra point that we think may have been partially blocked, couldn't really tell. But 13-7. After struggling last week to move the football, the Vikings have to feel really, really good about where they are right now, and they get the ball first to start the third quarter. So long ways to go. Parsons ended up losing, by about 20 points last week. Fort Scott game got away from them in the second half. They played a pretty stout Paola opponent, and they were only trailing 7-0 at halftime. Ended up losing 34-6. But you know, both of these teams sitting at 0-1. We mentioned it in the pregame. Nobody wants to start 0-2.
No.
You know,
that's absolutely the worst you could do is 0-2. I mean, you don't want to be in that hole, and I think the Vikings just need to come out. Not just completely go to running the ball here. You know, they showed that they can throw the ball, so I can see Coach Scheibe going with a little bit of run and pass. I'd like to see him go down, score on this first drive, and take a 2-score lead and see what happens.
You know, a lot of times coming out of halftime, broadcasters like myself and like you will say, you know, this first drive is really important.
Yeah.
But I don't think we can overemphasize
how
important it's going to be tonight, because while we were off the air, you said, you know, Fort Scott, they've kind of got the momentum right now because of that late touchdown. And, man, if the Vikings can come out and get 6 or 7 points put on the board on this first drive and essentially erase that late touchdown by the Tigers and go back up by 2 scores, I mean, that would just be huge. And then there's the whole confidence thing. I mean, we're talking about a bunch of teenagers that are out there playing, and confidence is a strange thing at times. Momentum is a very strange thing.
Yep.
And you know, the Vikings did a great job keeping this crowd very silent in the first half. It wasn't until those last few minutes after the fumble that the crowd was able to get into it.
Yeah, I'd say on the clock, 22 out of the 24 minutes, the crowd was pretty quiet.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, because they really didn't get anything going on offense until that drive, really.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's been a great defensive showing again by the Vikings defense. So, you know, like you said, you can't stress enough how important this drive is going to be. And field position, we talked about it before the game, is so far the Vikings have had really good field position and they've taken advantage of it a couple of times.
Yeah, they've enjoyed better field position tonight than the Tigers have. Tigers really, I'd call it, for high school football, just kind of average field position, with the obvious exception of that fumble that they took over on the Viking 27. But Vikings have to like where they're at with this 6-point lead at the break. And Tony, you know, at some point, Coach Scheibe's going to call that screen pass again to Henson. At some point in the second half. I don't know when, but
it worked to perfection.
And you know, I tell you, those coaches are very knowledgeable for the Vikings. They really know what they're doing, and so it comes down to the players being able to execute it. And to you know, second week of the season, and you have 11 teenagers out there. A lot of things have to go right for a play to be executed perfectly.
Exactly.
And that's how, and it was executed perfectly on that 49-yard touchdown. And so I can almost guarantee you he's going to bring that play back, something similar to it, hopefully at just the right time.
Yeah. You just got to think, is our best skill player better than their best skill player?
Yeah.
And so far in this game, we've had 2 great skill players in Henson and Schultz that have shown that they can go above and beyond and be the guy to be called upon. And Andrew Houck has done great in this game. I know he's probably wanting to get his first 100-yard passing game, and it should happen, because I mean he's getting close to 100 yards here in the first half. So it'd be nice to see him go over 100 yards and get off to, you know, like we said. I don't know if we said it on the way up here. You know, he had to have been a little nervous last week playing our rival. It's his first time starting as a varsity quarterback. There's definitely some jitters there, and you know, this week I feel like he's more comfortable out there.
Yeah, he's looked a lot more comfortable, and you got those, got that first game under his belt, and
I feel
he's ready to roll.
As the season goes, I look for it to get better and better.
Yep, I agree.
It's just going to be one of those years that we're young at a lot of spots. We talked about the offensive line, that I think it's just going to take some time, and as the year goes on, it could be one of those that by the end of the year we're clicking.
Yeah. That's going to wrap it up for the Eye Care Associate halftime show. Fort Scott kickoff team out on the field. They have the ball teed up at the 40-yard line. Caleb Hall ready to kick it away. And we are ready for second half action. End over end kick, fielded at the 20-yard line. Looks like, can't see the jersey number yet, but it's a pretty good return out across the 30. Ball is fumbled. Ball, who's going to fall on it?
Parsons got it.
I think the Vikings ended up with it back at about the 22 or 23-yard line. Let's see who saved that possession.
44.
Yep, sure enough. That was, look at my roster here, Connor Hedrick.
Yeah, great heads up.
5'8" senior. Boy, what
yeah,
great job, great hustle to save the possession for the Vikings.
Yeah, we could have had a little bit better field position, but it was just great to maintain the possession there.
So the Vikes have it on their own 22-yard line. Just underway in the second half. Vikes leading Fort Scott 13-6. Looks like Largent's going to be split out wide to the near side. Two receivers to the far side. Hauk takes the snap, gives it to Henson. Boy, the defense really keying on him. Boy, he's such a strong kid. Look, they were maybe trying to rip the ball away from him as well.
Yeah, only about a yard on that play.
We're going to give him, gain of 1. That'll bring up second down and 9. Joining in slate, it was a pretty good first half of football by both teams. Vikes leading this one 13-7. Vikes with the second and 9 from their own 23-yard line. Offense looking over to the sidelines. Out from the shotgun. Wants to throw, comes to the near side to Largent. He's wrapped up and thrown down at around the 28-yard line.
6-yard gain.
Might mark him down in the 29.
About 5-yard gain.
Nope, now they move it back to the 28-yard line, so that'll bring up 3rd and 5. Make it 3rd and 4 for the Vikes. 3rd and 4 from their own 28. Schultz comes to the near side.
Again, nobody on Schultz, Scott. Look at this.
Along with Ford. A lot of space.
A quick hitter to Schultz. He gets the first down.
See if they give it to him. The snap. A flag. False start on the Vikings. So now 3rd and 4 is going to become 3rd and 9.
I think he was going to go to Schultz there, Scott. Looked like Schultz was going to go 3 yards and turn around, catch it, and try to go upfield with it. That's unfortunate. That could have been a move the chains.
Yeah, penalties can kill a drive in a hurry for sure. 3rd and 9 for the Vikings. Big play right here early in the 3rd quarter. Hauk to throw, and it's going to be incomplete. And collision over by the Fort Scott sideline, and the Vikes will have to kick it away. And now stoppage in play.
Injured?
Not sure. No, it was Ford. I didn't even see him over there. He's getting up under his own power, limping a little bit, but it looks like he's going to be okay, fortunately.
Yeah, I knew there was a collision there, but we couldn't see because of the Fort Scott players what exactly happened. So,
hopefully the Viking special teams, their punting unit here, comes up with a big play. We need a good snap. Wyatt Schultz had a really nice punt back in the first half. Hopefully we get another one. Fort Scott return man standing on his own 45. Tigers, you would think, would get great field position here. Schultz with the low line drive kick. Gets
Really
it away
good
from
roll.
the return man, and a great roll. This is a great kick by Schultz all the way down to about the Fort Scott 30 or 31 yard line. Great job by the senior. And it'll be 1st and 10 for the Tigers from their own 31 with 9:45 to go in the third quarter. Again, Vikes on top 13-7.
Yeah, defense going to have to continue to play well, try to keep this lead.
Late in the first half, Fort Scott starting to have some success with some option plays. Running the ball out wide. This time the backs are split. It's a quarterback keeper, I believe. I think Cannon kept it and falls forward for a pretty nice gain out across the 35 to about the 36. Be a gain of about 5. Clock on the move, 9:27 to go in the third quarter. 6-point lead for Parsons.
Yeah, the Vikings just need to settle down, just play solid defense here.
Warm evening here in Fort Scott, much different than that unseasonably cool season opener we had last week at Marvel Park. 2nd and 4. Run a little trap play. Ball's loose, and the Vikings have it.
We got it.
Off the fumble, the Vikes get the turnover.
Who was that? Dakari Jones that got it? No.
They have not signaled that it's the Vikings' ball. He lost that ball before the play was dead. That has to be the Vikings' ball. Coach Scheibe can't believe it. The ball came out, and the Vikings fell on it.
Yeah.
His knee was not down unless my 53-year-old eyes are way worse than I think they are.
Yeah, it's Vikings' ball.
Yep, sure enough. Good
Yep.
job. And now Fort Scott coach is wondering what's going on, but I just don't see any way that that's not the correct call.
Yeah,
Tony, we had a great look
100%,
at
yeah.
it.
The ball came out. Vikings jumped on it. I'm not even sure where the confusion was that Fort Scott thought it was still their ball.
Right.
But we needed that bad. That's great defensive play. Just put the helmet on the ball,
Yeah.
Scott, and it popped out. I'm going to have to go back and look at the tape. I think it was Dakari Jones that made the hit. And now Dakari Jones in the backfield, Scott.
Jones back there with Houck. Great opportunity for the Vikings here, leading by 6. They give it to Jones. He's got a hole up the middle, and then it's plugged up quickly by the Fort Scott defense. But still inside the 40 down to the 39. I think I said the Vikes were on the 46. I misspoke. It was actually the 41 of Fort Scott was the line of scrimmage. So it's a gain of 2 to the 39. Second and 8. 8:25 to go in the third quarter. Clock on the move. Vikings leading this one 13-7. Houck looks over to the sideline. Schultz in the slot. The wide receiver split wide right. I believe it's Ford out there.
Schultz is so wide open, Scott.
And they get it to him at the 35. Cuts back, fighting for yardage.
He's close.
Maybe a yard short, Tony, on from the first down marker. Looks like they're going to put him down about the 32.
Why are they leaving him open in the slot? I don't understand that. I'll take it,
You
but
know,
I just don't understand it. You can
If I-
get
if
3 or
I-
4 yards every play.
If I was an expert on the game of football, I'd have an answer for you. But I honestly don't know. Again, 3rd and long, 4th and long, it makes sense. But to give that much space
Look at him,
consistently,
Scott.
I don't
There's only
know.
one defender out there.
3rd and 1 for the Vikings. You know they're going to be keying on Henson. There's the snap. Oh, ball's fumbled, or rather, was it Jones? Ball's still, falling on it. That's going to be a recovery, I think, by the quarterback, Houck. So all of a sudden, both teams having some trouble with ball security here in the second half.
Well, it's really humid. I don't know if that ball's slick. I have no idea. I know I'm sweating up here in the booth, so
Yeah, it's warm.
It could be warm down there, and the ball could be slick.
And was that Jones in the backfield?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
So the ball is spotted back at the Fort Scott 35. So now the Vikes face a 4th and 4.
Now
you would think they would have to put the ball in the air on this play.
Now Largent's uncovered in the slot.
Hauk from the shotgun. Pump fakes, and now Hauk, or rather Schultz, got tied up at the line of scrimmage. Probably heard the Fort Scott coaching staff up here celebrating defensive play. Hauk never even, or rather Schultz never had a chance to get into his route. And the pass falls incomplete. And Fort Scott will take over on their own 35-yard line. So a missed opportunity for the Vikes after they recovered the Fort Scott fumble. 6:26 to go in the third quarter. Parsons on top 13-7. Dexter Williams, 6'2", receiver, split to the near side.
Good.
But it's
Good
a running play.
there.
Running play for Fort Scott gets up to the, so they're going to mark it at the 39-yard line. Gain of 4, that'll bring up 2nd down and 6. Two receivers coming out to the near side.
Well, we're kind of leaving that
Yep,
open,
we're
too.
leaving the slot guy kind of open too. Run right up the middle. Another nice gain, but short of the first down, up to the about the 43-yard line of the Tigers. Bring up 3rd and short.
Maybe that's just a normal formation, and the linebacker is supposed to creep over and cover. But if the receiver goes 2 steps and stops, he's open.
Yep. Third down and about 2. Backs are split. Quarterback keeper. And it is a first down for the Tigers across the 45 to the 46. So a new set of downs for the Tigers. Clock stopped to move the chains. 5:15 to go in the third quarter. 6-point lead for the Vikes. Vikes had a 13-0 lead and possession late in the first half, but an unfortunate fumble ended up leading to Fort Scott's only score of the first half. Backs are split once again. This time Cannon wants to throw, and it's intercepted.
Hunsley.
45. Hunsley at the 50, looking for a block. 45, and he's hit from behind and gets it returned all the way down to the Fort Scott 41 or 42. And Tony, while that was not a situation where Fort Scott had to throw, you mentioned it way back in the pregame.
Yeah.
You wanted Fort Scott to throw the ball rather than just being able to grind it out on the ground, play after play after play.
Yeah. Elijah Hunsley, that was a great interception.
And so 2 turnovers already in the second half for the Tigers. Vikes were unable to take advantage of the fumble recovery. We'll see what they can do this time around as they have it 1st and 10 from the Fort Scott 42.
Henson in the backfield this drive.
Yep, Henson be on the left side of his quarterback, Hauk. 2 receivers to the near side, and they give it to Henson. Nice cut back inside the 40 to about the 39 yard line. Not a huge gain, but positive yardage.
About 3 yards.
They mark it right at the 38. 2nd and 6 coming up. Be great if the blue and gold could march this down for a score. Good little breathing room here. They lead at 13-7, 4:10 to go in the third quarter. Vikes with a very long road trip next week, and it's going to be a Saturday game, right, Tony? Saturday at
3:30.
3:30 in the afternoon. Kansas City Christian Prep School, and now the Vikes, unfortunately, will have to burn a timeout to avoid a penalty. 3:56 to go in the third quarter. Parsons leading at 13-7. We'll take a 30-second commercial break. You're listening to Viking football on B93.
Discover what you've been missing in Parsons, Kansas. Curious Minds Discovery Zone, a children's museum that inspires a love of learning with hands-on exhibits for all ages to imagine, create, learn, and discover. Kids enjoy looking through microscopes, building on our magnetic ball run wall, creative play in our doctor's office or grocery store, and lots more. Discover, explore, Parsons, Kansas.
We are back live at Fort Scott High School. 3:56 to go in the third quarter. Parsons leading at 13-7 over the Tigers. Vikes face a 2nd and 6 as we get ready for play to resume. Forward will be split wide left for the Vikings. Schultz in the slot. Henson in the backfield. They give it to Henson. Nice cut back to the 35. And, man, he powers forward very close to the first down. It'll depend on the spot, and I think you're right, Tony. I think he has it.
Yeah, it's close. It's
right at the 32-yard line. Boy, they're saying third. Are they not even going to measure? If I was Coach Scheibe, I would ask for a measurement. It is right there, and I think they are going to measure.
Yeah, that's a first down. He's got it by 2 ball lengths. I think the marker's on the 32, and that's at the 30 and 31 and a half, Scott. By me, that's over a football.
Yeah, if those chains were where they were supposed to be, yeah, from my angle, by at least the length of a football. That. Yep, exactly one length of the football. Yeah. The Vikings have it.
I just don't see how can they not see that just looking down.
Yeah, because one official, I mean, he immediately signaled for third down. So I don't know. He was looking at something that differently than we were for sure. So big first down for the Vikes. New set of downs. Ball spotted at the Fort Scott 32. 3.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Vikes leading 13-7. Houck from the shotgun. Gives it to Henson. Hitting the backfield. Gets away from a couple of guys. And then falls forward to about the 25. I think his knee hit down back around the 26. Yep, sure enough.
That's still a good run on first down.
I know last year was so frustrating for Henson because he just was not healthy for most of the year. Man, he's making up for it this season.
Unofficially, I have him 96 yards on the ground, 60 receiving.
Man, yeah, he's a load. Jones back in at running back for the Vikings. 2nd and 4 for the Vikes. Henson getting a breather here. 2 receivers out wide right. Houck gives it to Jones. He gets around at one guy, and then he's going to get swallowed up by about 4 Fort Scott Tigers. So third down coming up for the Vikes. And here again, Tony, it's third and about 4 or 5, about 3rd and 5 for the Vikes. You don't have to worry about picking up. I mean, a first down would be great, but if you can pick up
2 or 3 yards.
Yeah, because
anything positive.
Definitely 4 down territory for the Vikes, leading at 13-7, 2 minutes to go in quarter number 3. 3rd and 5. See if Houck puts it in the air. Nope, running play. Henson
close.
Cuts back.
That's close. He's about a yard short, Scott, just like you said.
And it just seems to me that in addition to everything else that Henson does well, it seems like he really sees the field well and sees the defense and then just lets his athleticism take over.
Yeah.
He's made a lot of guys miss.
Unofficial, I got Henson right at 100 now on the ground.
And here we go, 4th and 1 for the Vikes from the Tigers' 23. They pass over the middle, caught by Schultz, 10, 5, he's into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. 2nd touchdown of the night for Wyatt Schultz. Great call by Scheibe. And it is 19-7 Vikes with 1:04 to go in quarter number 3.
Wow, that's big. That is big.
I think virtually everybody in the stadium thought Henson was going to get it.
100%.
They faked the handoff to Henson. Houck threw a strike over the middle to Schulter. I believe just ran a quick little post route. Now reel out to attempt the extra point. Vikes lead by 12, 19-7. An offensive lineman getting on the field late. Still 10 seconds on the play clock. Pretty good snap. Kick is low.
No good.
And no good. So 19-7, Vikes lead by 12. Minute 4 to go in the third period. We will be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Viking football on V93.
Life is about movement, and the human body is like any high-performance machine. When miles add up, parts wear down, and that's when pain begins, and here's where it ends. At Labette Health, our nationally recognized orthopedic and sports medicine surgeons use advanced techniques to reduce recovery times and relieve pain for miles to come. Feel like new again at Labette Health in Parsons, Kansas. For more information, go to labettehealth.com.
Welcome back, Viking fans. 19-7. Vikings take advantage of Fort Scott's second turnover of the period. Go 42 yards, capped by that 22-yard pass from Houck to Schultz. Tony, we've got our two-possession lead back.
That's what we needed. Houck is about unofficially around 120 yards passing, and Henson's right at 100 yards rushing. Starting to click.
Definitely starting to click. Short end-over-end kick. It bounces at the 25-yard line. Fort Scott, because of the kind of a strange bounce, slow to pick it up, and great coverage by the kickoff unit. And this will actually be one of the worst starting field positions of the night for Fort Scott on their own 28-yard line.
Yeah, the clock's definitely going to be our friend here, Scott. If we can continue to run the ball and run that clock when we have the possession, that'll be huge. And I mean, first things first, if the defense can get a stop here, it'd be great.
Dexter Williams split wide left. It's going to be a toss play to the left. I think that's Clayton with it, looking for the edge. And this time he finds the edge. Look out. He's going to go for a nice gain into Viking territory. One of the only times tonight Vikings have not been able to contain the edge. Creed Clayton giving the offense for Fort Scott a much-needed boost. 5'10", 176-pound sophomore. He's a good-looking running back, Tony. He's going to be hard to handle over the next few years. And I think we have Williams, the wide receiver, hasn't had a lot of looks tonight. He's going to have to limp off the field. And we have a flag. Is there a flag down there, Tony? This may be coming back. I did not see the flag.
I did not either, but I seen Henson on the ground back there.
Yeah, flag way back at the 34-yard line, holding on Fort Scott, and
that's a backbreaker for them.
My goodness, that takes the ball. They were well into Parsons territory, and instead it's going to be first down back at the Fort Scott 24-yard line. About 40 seconds to go in quarter number 3. Vikings leading at 19-7. First and 15. Little counter play. Nice gain right up the gut.
Good tackle. That's O'Banion on the tackle.
Colt Lipe on the carry. Another sophomore running back for the Tigers. See if Fort Scott's able to get off one more play. 15 seconds on the clock. Parsons leading this one 19-7. Doesn't look like Fort Scott's in any hurry. They're just going to let the clock hit 0, and the Vikes are going to go to the fourth quarter with a 12-point lead.
I'll take it.
Who I can guarantee you most teams or most people would have thought Fort Scott was at least a slight favorite in tonight's game. But the Vikes lead at 19-7. We'll be back with quarter number 4 in 30 seconds. You're listening to Viking football on V93.
Discover what you've been missing in Parsons, Kansas. Curious Minds Discovery Zone, a children's museum that inspires a love of learning with hands-on exhibits for all ages to imagine, create, learn, and discover. kids enjoy looking through microscopes, building on our magnetic ball run wall, creative play in our doctor's office or grocery store, and lots more. Discover, explore, Parsons, Kansas.
Welcome back to Fort Scott High School, everybody. Scott Marlowe, Tony Fuentes with you, getting ready to start quarter number 4. Vikings leading the Tigers 19-7. Fort Scott has possession, facing a 2nd and 6 from their own 34-yard line. Tony, Viking defense has just been outstanding.
Yeah,
all night long.
They've been great.
Fort Scott finally found the edge for a
there was a hold
for a big gain, and sure enough, the reason they found the edge was because of a holding penalty.
Yeah, senior Breland Summers on that edge has been so good both games this season.
Yeah, he really has.
Stand out.
Fort Scott up to the line of scrimmage. Cannon, quarterback under center. Backs are split once again. Tried to go over right tackle and not much there. No gain.
It's a loss.
And a flag comes in. Man, look at all those flags.
Wow.
Hopefully this is either on Fort Scott or off. So when you see that many flags,
Dakari Jones is – they're trying to get him back.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Best we can hope for is offsetting, I think, at this point. Man, it was going to be 3rd and 6 for Fort Scott. Let's see what the officials say. They haven't given us any indication yet.
This is a dead ball foul, correct? It was after the play.
I think it was.
Yeah.
So dead ball and sportsmanlike conduct on Fort Scott, and looks like it is going to be offsetting. Yep, sure enough. We can live with that, Tony.
So 3rd and 6.
So the play should count.
Yep, he put up 3rd down.
They still have it 2nd down, and now I think they're going to get it changed. So 3rd down and 6 yards to go.
Yeah, we'll take that. I mean, that's what it's supposed to be. So nothing hurt.
Yeah, and this is not 4-down territory yet.
No, not even close.
For the Tigers, even though they're down by 12, unless they get like within a foot of the 1st down marker. So good matchup down here on the near side. Williams being guarded by Schultz.
Yeah, that's where they're going to have to go. If they don't run it, they're going to try to go to Williams.
Split backfield once again. Cannon. They run a little trap play.
Breland
Vikes were ready for it. Summers again.
Oh, wow.
Throws Fort Scott back for a loss.
There's some serious jawing going on between both teams, Scott. I don't know if you noticed that right there.
Fort Scott's frustrated, Tony.
Yeah.
They did not, they've had a lot of success up here over the years, and I can guarantee you they are not used to starting a year 0-2.
No.
And they're not, let's be honest, they're not used to being behind to Parsons either.
4th and 10. And it looks like they're going for it.
I am shocked.
Which is unbelievable.
I am shocked. See, they're going for it on 4th and 10. Cannon rolls right, fires. Pass is complete, but short of the 1st down. Great defensive play. What a hit coming out of the secondary. And the Vikings will get the turnover on downs. Tony, that is essentially the 3rd turnover of the second half for Fort Scott. And, Tony, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but if they can take advantage of this and score a touchdown, it's going to be very difficult for the Tigers.
35-yard line. Yeah.
I'm pretty shocked that Fort Scott went for that.
Yeah, that's tough.
So here we go. Vikes have it 1st and 10 from the Fort Scott 35. Pass play in the flat. That's Schultz trying to get away from one man, and he does.
Wow.
Then gets thrown out of bounds. Looked like some extracurricular activity over there. Flags come in, and
this is definitely going to get out of hand.
To me, it looked like they were getting pretty rough with Schultz, but they was on the far sideline right in front of the Viking bench.
I'm just hoping it wasn't somebody on the Viking sideline that did something to one of the Fort Scott players.
First half was really clean. Things getting pretty chippy.
Unsportsmanlike.
And this time it does go on the Vikings. Or is it going to be offsetting once again? Yes, it is. Unsportsmanlike conduct. The coaching staff can't believe that it's offsetting. They cannot believe that. And now a flag coming in.
You can't do that, Coach.
I think they just got head coach Jeff Scheibe.
Yeah, for stomping on the ground.
And he was fairly animated, but if he didn't say something,
yeah,
that's kind of a ticky-tack call.
Yeah.
And we're just assuming. We don't know.
It would have been second and 3. Now it's going to be second and 18.
Yeah, and Coach Scheibe hates to put his team in a hole like that. He's still trying to figure out two things. Why was the initial call offsetting penalties? Because he didn't agree with that at all. And what did I specifically do that warranted a 15-yard penalty?
Yeah,
wow.
That's not good.
Now, the Vikings need to make sure they don't panic here. They have the 12-point lead. They're still in Fort Scott territory. 10:55 to go in the game. So it is first, after all that, 1st and 18 is what we have. So go figure. It's a running play right up the middle that goes for 1 yard.
I don't get that, Scott, because they ran a play, and then there was dead ball. So it should have been 2nd and 3. And then the 15 yards. So it should have been second.
I'm trying to do the math, trying to figure out why it was. Yeah, now they fixed it. It is now 3rd down. I thought that's what that play they just ran, everything, the scoreboard and across the way at the down marker said 1st down.
Yeah,
and it should have been 2nd down. So now we're where we should be. 3rd and long for the Vikings. I wouldn't take any chances here, Tony. I would play it safe and then try to have Schultz pin Fort Scott deep with a punt. I wouldn't take any chances, but the Vikings are going to put it in the air. It's going to be that screen pass.
You called it.
Henson is going to be short of the 1st down, but now
wow, another penalty on Fort Scott over there. Did you see that?
Was it a late hit?
Yes. On Schultz.
So this will be a 1st down.
This might be a 15-yard penalty on Fort Scott.
If it is unnecessary roughness on Fort Scott, it will definitely be a 1st down.
These refs are not putting up with anything now.
And
if you do anything, they're going to throw a flag.
I usually don't see Fort Scott teams this undisciplined, Tony. That's a lot of personal fouls that they've been assessed.
That's at least the 5th that I've counted. Does that sound right?
That could very well be right.
I think that's at least the 3rd here in the last 2 drives.
They're going to mark this off from the 33-yard line. By my math, they should march it down to the 18.
That'll be a 1st down.
And 1st down. And exactly 10 minutes left in the game. Vikings leading at 19-7. And, Fort Scott, that run-heavy offense, Tony, they're not really built to come back from big deficits. If the Vikings can punch this in, you have to really like their chances. 1st and 10 for the Vikes from the Fort Scott 18. Houck gives it off to Henson over the left side, and he has a nice gain.
About 6-7 yards.
You're going to mark him down at the 11. It'll be a pickup of 7. 2nd down and about 3 for the Vikings. Again, leading by 12. Clock on the move. 9:25 to go in our ball game. Vikes looking for their first win of the year, as are the Tigers.
I'd run that play clock down inside 5 seconds every play on this, the rest of this drive for sure. Try to get that clock down to 7 minutes.
Clock is the Vikings' best friend right now. Largent comes out split to the near side, really trying to kind of spread out that defense a little bit. Henson in the backfield. He's going to get it again. Nice cut back up the middle inside the 5. He has a 1st down. It's going to be 1st and goal for the Vikings from the Fort Scott 4.
That about 10 yards, Scott?
Yeah, I'd give him about 10 on the carry. And, Tony, I'm with you. Just very patient. Be very, very patient. Ball is spotted on the 3. 1st and goal from the 3. 19-7, Vikes on top, 8:39 to go in the game. We have 15 seconds on the play clock. Vikes still in the huddle. Now they get up to the line of scrimmage. 7 seconds on the play clock. Hauk looks over the defense. Runs it all the way down to 1 second. They give it to Henson, cuts back to the goal line, falls forward. Is he in? He is. It's a touchdown. 3-yard run for Henson, and the Vikings lead it now 25-7 over the Fort Scott Tigers. Tony, I'm not shocked that the Vikings are winning. I'm shocked that they lead by 18 points. I did not anticipate this, and I can guarantee you the Fort Scott crowd did not anticipate this.
They definitely did not. You could probably hear a pin drop out there.
Looks like the Vikes are going to go for 2. If successful, they will have a 20-point lead on the Tigers. Both of these teams have some youth. Fort Scott lost a lot of seniors off last year's team. They have Ford split wide right. Man goes in motion. They throw it out to Largent, and he's going to get hit and drops the pass. Incomplete. So Vikings 2-point attempt no good. So with 8:16 left in the fourth quarter, it is Parsons 25 and Fort Scott 7. We will be back with more in 30 seconds. You're listening to Viking Football on V93.
Life is about movement, and the human body is like any high-performance machine. When miles add up, parts wear down, and that's when pain begins, and here's where it ends. At Labette Health, our nationally recognized orthopedic and sports medicine surgeons use advanced techniques to reduce recovery times and relieve pain for miles to come. Feel like new again at Labette Health in Parsons, Kansas. For more information, go to labettehealth.com.
Eight minutes, 16 seconds left in quarter number 4. Getting ready for play to resume. Reel getting the ball teed up at the 40-yard line for the Vikes. Off that 3-yard touchdown run by Chandler Henson, the Vikes enjoy their biggest lead of the night over Fort Scott, 25-7. Tony, you wanted Fort Scott to be in a position where they had to throw the ball, and we have arrived.
Yeah, they've struggled. I don't think they've completed more than 1 pass, maybe 2.
Yeah, their passing game has struggled tonight. Reel, a shorter kick, fielded around the 26-yard line.
Good
There's going to be a big opening on the far side, and a ball carrier's into Viking territory down to about the 35. I'm not really sure why the Vikings left this near side of the field so open. I mean, you could almost driven a caravan through this side of the field closest to the press box, and a much-needed big special teams play by Fort Scott. They needed that in a big, big way.
Yeah. This is definitely, besides the fumble, this is their best starting position.
Yeah, the only time they were able to score on the Vikings was on a short field of 27 yards, and this one isn't going to be much more. Fort Scott has it 1st and 10 from the Viking 37, or 33 rather. And they do want to throw. Cannon rolling right. Finds a man out in the flat, and he gets away from one man. He's inside the 20 down to the 15-yard line. And for the first time really in the second half, Fort Scott has some momentum.
They're showing some life on offense here. So luckily the Vikings have a 3-score lead with 8 minutes to play.
Ball spotted at the Viking 16-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Tigers. Parsons has pretty much led the whole way, where they're up 25-7, but Fort Scott on the move. Little trap play.
Good.
Running back
Good
gets
tackle.
strung out.
Hunsley,
falls
I believe,
forward.
on the tackle.
Yeah, I think so. Inside the 15 to about, the 13 it looks like.
Yeah, about 2 yards, maybe 3.
And the good news for the Vikes, that clock is continuing to run. Now, Fort Scott does have all 3 of their timeouts, and they'll have to start using those a little bit later in the quarter. 25-7, Vikes by 18. This is 2nd and 8 coming up. Wouldn't be surprised if the Tigers might go to the air right here. Backs are split, and they do want to throw. Plenty of time, and it's caught at the 5-yard line. It's going to be an easy touchdown that time for the Tigers. 14-yard reception for Aiden Ogren, and Fort Scott creeps a little bit closer with 7:20 to go in our ball game. 25-13. You know, extra points and two-point conversions, Tony, we talk about it all the time at the high school level. Oftentimes they are the difference in these games. Fort Scott now going to go for two to try to get within 10. Man is open, and it's good on the far side. Looked like the defender fell down, and now a flag comes in.
Extremely late.
Definitely after the play, so it's going to be another 15-yard penalty. The two-point conversion is good. And I think, going by the coach's reaction, maybe one of the Fort Scott players said something, and it's going to be another 15-yard penalty.
Yeah,
and that means the kickoff is going to be back at the Fort Scott 25-yard line if that penalty stands. 25-15, Fort Scott by 10, 7:20 to go in our fourth quarter. We will step away for a 30-second break and be back with more. You're listening to Viking Football on V93.
Labette Community College is meeting the need for an increased demand in qualified radiographers. Our radiography students will train on the latest technology in a hospital simulation environment.
I wanted to be able to go into a career where I could help people. And if you're going to go into that field in this part of the four-state area, LCC is the only place to come.
Tuition is nearly half the cost of universities. Scholarship and financial aid available for those who qualify. Text radiography to 620-293-6671 for more information or visit labette.edu.
And we are back live once again at Fort Scott High School. And sure enough, it was a dead ball, unsportsmanlike penalty on the Tigers, Tony.
Yeah.
And so they're going to have to kick off instead of they're 40, they're going to kick off from their own 25-yard line. So the Vikings need to adjust.
Yep, they are
on
now.
The kickoff unit. 7:20 to go in the game. Vikes leading at 25-15, so they still have that two-possession lead. But with 7:20 on the clock and 3 timeouts, Fort Scott has more than enough time to make a furious rally here in the fourth quarter. Vikings just need to play solid, intelligent football the rest of the way, and then maybe a pretty happy ride home back to Parsons. Fort Scott was a man short for their kickoff team. Meanwhile, Caleb Hall will tee it up at the 25-yard line. You would think the Vikings would have pretty decent field position after this kickoff. It's an onside kick.
They got it, I think.
And I think Fort Scott has it. And a flag comes in again.
Illegal touching. I think it hit a
Did
Fort
they touch
Scott
it early?
player before it went 10 yards. I'm pretty sure it hit the back of the Fort Scott player right before the 10-yard.
If that's the case, good eye, Tony, and I certainly hope you're right.
I think it just hit him in the back. That was a great onside kick. His shoe came off.
Sure enough. Yeah, it was perfectly executed.
I couldn't tell which one was the ball or the shoe at first.
We'll see if we have some sort of illegal touching.
Yeah.
Wow, big break for the Vikes.
Yeah.
Big break.
So the Vikings get the ball at the 35? Is that?
Man, I sure hope so.
They shouldn't get a kick again.
I wonder if Coach Scheibe has the option. And you know if one of the options is to go and take possession, that's exactly what he's going to do.
100%, man.
And it looks like that's the case. Hey, looks like the refs are going to spot the ball at the Fort Scott
34. That's where it hit the guy in the back.
They were a yard short.
Yeah.
Yep, they hit that ball touched the Fort Scott player.
The ball was just
traveled 9 yards.
Lazy getting there.
Yep.
I think if the ball would have just been a little bit quicker, I think they get that possession. That was so close.
Tony,
Executed well.
I think this possession will determine the game.
Yeah, we just need a couple first downs, run some clock.
Yeah. Vikes have 2 receivers, and there's only 1 defender on the far side of the field, and Fort Scott does not know it. The coaches up here in the box do. The Vikes didn't see it either. Here comes Henson on the carry inside the 30.
Good carry. There's 7 or 8 yards.
Yeah, that's a great run by Henson. Tony, they're not going to give him quite as much as you thought or I thought. Looks like about maybe
6.5. Started at the
Yeah.
34.5
So
down to the
I was hoping it was closer to 8
20.
yards, but it's more like 6.
yeah, good
So,
6 yards.
but still, that's a good run on first down.
Come on, clock, keep going.
6:44 left in our ball game. Vikes leading at 25-15. Ford split wide right. Schultz is in the slot. Henson, the running back. Hauk takes the snap. Hands off to Henson. He's hit hard in the backfield. Spins away.
It's
and
about to
got back almost to the line of scrimmage.
Oof.
But, man, I'd love to see just, even if the Vikings don't score, Tony, just one first down on this possession would be
that would
huge.
take that clock all the way down to between the 3 and 4 minute mark.
In fact, Fort Scott would possibly start burning their timeouts on defense at that point. 3rd and 5 for the Vikings. You know, Coach Hauk, Coach Scheibe.
4 down territory, 100%.
Man, he wants the first down. Do you think he'll put the ball in the air, Tony? I would almost keep it on the ground at this point.
I think you keep it on the
that
ground,
clock running.
especially on this play here.
Schultz and Ford split to the right side, and maybe a timeout called by the Vikings. Yep, sure enough, Coach Scheibe calls a timeout. Vikes have 1 left, 5:41 left in our game. Vikes leading Fort Scott 25-15. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Viking Football on V93.
Bowen Pharmacy supports the Parsons Vikings here and here and here. It's our goal to keep you covered. At Bowen Pharmacy, we give no excuses for you not to make it to the game. And it's always a great day to be a Viking.
.541 to go in our ball game with the Vikes leading Fort Scott 25-15. Very warm and muggy night. Vikings closing in on their first win of the year, Tony. I would call it a mild upset if this score holds up.
100%. No cramping tonight, Scott.
You know, I was thinking the same thing. And that's great.
Yeah.
By neither team. Usually on a hot, muggy September night like this, you'll see a couple of guys go down with cramps, but not so far tonight. 3rd and 5 for the Vikings. Big play right here.
Oh, go to the left.
1st and 10 from the Fort Scott 29. Hauk, a quick toss to Henson looking for the edge, and he's not going to find it. And a flag comes in. Backditch, I would almost say that's possibly holding on the Vikes, going by the official that threw the flag, but or is an illegal block. So I'm assuming Fort Scott will take this penalty, or will they say no, we want it to be 4th down, because if they do take the penalty, it essentially gives the Vikes
2 downs.
maybe 2 more plays to run. But I think they'll take it. If it's a 10, I think it's a 10-yard penalty. .535 to go in the game. They did go ahead. They did go ahead and decline it, so it'll be 4th down.
What do? You pin them deep?
I think the Vikes will go for it, and with it being 4th down, Tony, the playbook is wide open because no matter what you do, the clock is going to stop. Even if you don't make it, clock will stop on the turnover on down. So I don't think Coach Scheibe will hesitate to put this ball in the air. 25-15, Vikes by 10, 5:35 to go in the game. Schultz in motion. Hauk wants to throw. He has a little bit of time, and it's going to be tipped away, incomplete, and Fort Scott will take over on their own 30-yard line. So a turnover on downs. Vikes still in control. It's a 2-possession game, but things are starting to get a little tense on the Viking sidelines.
Yep.
But this time, Fort Scott will have to do something they haven't done all night, Tony, and that is drive essentially
70 yards.
Can't say the length of the field, but 70 yards. Their 2 touchdowns have come on fields that were much shorter than that.
Yeah, 32
in fact, I
and
think about 70 total.
Yeah.
Cannon to throw. Goes deep. And he overshoots his man intended target. Williams, he's a good receiver, but the Vikes have done a pretty good job keeping him in check.
Holding. You back him up?
I would back him up. In this case, I think I would.
Because that's going to make him throw. And I feel like when they're throwing, I feel like we have the advantage.
I agree.
At least so far in this game, it's been that way.
Just bring up about 1st and 20. They mark it back to the 20-yard line. 1st and 20 for the Tigers. Again, it's a 10-point lead for the Vikes at 25-15. 5:27 to go in our ball game. 2 receivers coming to the near side for the Tigers. Backs will be split once again. Cannon running play. And this is going to be a big gain out to the 30-yard line.
Yep.
Across the 32.
Picked up that 10.
The 32. I think that caught the Vikes a little off guard, maybe.
Yeah, I think they expected
I think they expected a pass. They're going to mark it. Nose of the ball will be at the 33-yard line. Clock moving again, coming down to the 5-minute mark. Tony, at this point, that clock can't run fast enough if you're a Viking fan.
Yeah, it's creeping.
2nd and 7. Drayden Marlowe split wide right. And now they try to come back to the near side. Play set up pretty well. It's going to be a first down out near midfield. 49-yard line. A little bit of trickery that time by Fort Scott. Had the Viking defense thinking they were going to go right. They ended up throwing back to the left. The clock still moving, Tony, but the Viking defense needs to stiffen here. Fort Scott offense up to the line of scrimmage quickly. 1st and 10. Going to be a pass. Cannon. Almost intercepted, but it's complete for a first down. I think that was Schultz. It almost had the pick. And it's a first down all the way to the Viking 35-yard line. All in all, this is probably the best drive of the night for Fort Scott. 36-yard line is where they're going to mark it. 1st and 10 from the Viking 36. 4:10 to go in our ball game. Vikes still leading at 25-15. And backs will be split once again. 2 wide receivers. Cannon, pump fake, wants to go deep. Well defended. What are they? Are they saying he caught that?
Yep.
They're going to say he caught that. I thought he was out of bounds. What a catch on the far sideline all the way down to the Viking 13-yard line.
Wow.
Wow, I didn't see that correctly at all, Tony.
No, it's so far away, I couldn't tell either.
Wow, so, man, things are going to get really tight if the Tigers go and punch this in for a touchdown. 3:57 to go in our game. Vikes lead by 10, 25-15, but Fort Scott on the move. Cannon wants to throw on first down. Has time, goes to the corner of the end zone, and it's incomplete. Defended well by Schultz in the corner of the end zone. That'll bring up 2nd down. I don't know what kind of place kicker Fort Scott has as far as field goals go, Tony, but they are close enough that they could, if they wanted to, go for a field goal if it comes down to it.
If we stop them,
and that would get them to within 7.
Yeah. I think that's why they went for 2 last time.
Yep, that's exactly why they did it.
Do that.
Cannon under center, 2nd and 10. Running play to the 10. And now I think they're going to get a horse collar on the Vikings. And what wasn't intentional, but of course it doesn't matter. From here, it will certainly look like a horse collar, and that's going to be half the distance to the goal, and a 1st and goal coming up for the Tigers. Down to 3:46 to go in our game. Vikings are just going to have to. They're going to have to pick up some first downs, Tony, on their next possession to put this one away. Vikings led at one time 13-0, and at one time they also led 25-7. But this is going to be the closest Fort Scott's been in a while if they go ahead and punch this in. 1st and goal from the 3-yard line, and now we have a whistle and stoppage in play. I think they're discussing if they got that penalty yardage marked off correctly. Well, look at this. They're changing it to second down. I thought if it was a personal foul, it would have made it a first down. So it's second and very short. Quarterback keeper, and Cannon is into the end zone for a touchdown. And just like that, it is 25-21. Fort Scott within 4 with 3:39 to go in our game.
They're going to try to kick the extra point, Scott.
So they're going to try to get within 3. Ball out to attempt the extra point. We got an offensive lineman coming on late. And then a false, boy, goodness. And now a false start or something. Illegal substitution. I don't know what the penalty is going to be, but it's going to be a 5-yard penalty on the Tigers. So they had the wrong personnel out there. That'll back them up 5 yards. Wow, things have really tightened up here in the fourth quarter. Vikes were in control, 25-7. Now it's 25-21. The 5-yard penalty will make this a 25-yard attempt on the extra point. Caleb Hall, the 5'7" place kicker for the Tigers. Awaits the snap. It's a low snap. He still gets the kick away, and he got it. So Fort Scott within 3, 25-22, 3:39 to play. We'll be back with the kickoff in 30 seconds. This is Viking football on V93.
At Labette Community College, we're passionate about medicine and compassionate about people. Our highly trained instructors provide innovative career-specific education in the field of diagnostic medical sonography. Do you already have an associate or bachelor's degree in healthcare? Earn an additional certification in sonography. LCC offers a 12-month completely online program with a clinical component. In as little as 1 year, specialize in OB, abdomen, or vascular. For more information, text pound SONO to 620-293-6671 today. Apply online at labette.edu.
I think with the 3 timeouts, they're going to kick it deep.
We're back live at Fort Scott High School, and Tony, I agree with you. I think with the 3 timeouts, and Fort Scott already tried to get Parsons, kind of tried to catch us off guard a little bit with that onside kick. An onside kick now would be anticipated by the Vikings. They have their good hands people up at the 50-yard line, and I wouldn't be surprised, Tony, if they just try to pooch it over this first line of Vikings and try to get one of those funky bounces and see if they can recover it. Or, like you said, with 3 timeouts, they may just go ahead and kick it deep. Hall has it teed up at the 40-yard line, and it is an onside attempt. And great job by Ford. He recovers it at the Viking 49-yard line.
Andre Ford, great reception there.
Just 1 second off the clock, so the Vikes take over on their own 49. 3:38 to go in our game. Vikes lead at 25-22.
A couple of first downs.
Yep. Make Fort Scott burn those timeouts. They still have their full complement of 3. Pressure time here for the Viking offense. They have played so much better, looked so much better than they did in that season opener against LC. They've got to figure out a way to move the chains a couple of times here, see if they can secure this victory. Henson in the backfield along with Houck. They give it to Henson, and he falls forward to the 50 just to gain a 1. And Fort Scott coach very upset. I think he felt like the officials were slow in awarding him his timeout. Clock down to 3:31. And they may adjust that. We've got a couple of officials talking about that right now. But Tony, just, what 1-yard gains obviously won't cut it.
No.
At what point, does Coach Scheibe,
you might have to do it right here.
Change something up. Because Fort Scott, they're going to be crowding that line of scrimmage
if
to stop.
They fake it to Henson, and go something back across the field to Schultz or.
You know, that's how they scored one of their touchdowns.
Yep.
You know, they did fake the handoff to Henson and fired it over the middle to Schultz for a touchdown. Looks like the clock will stay at 3:31. So 2 timeouts left for Fort Scott. Been a great high school football game here this evening. Vikings trying to hang on. They lead at 25-22, second and 9 from midfield. Out from the shotgun. Takes a snap. It's a running play. Henson with a nice hole. Oh, he's going to be short of the first down. About a yard short. I thought he was going to get there, Tony. Great tackle by Fort Scott. And they go and burn their second timeout. Wow. And it looks like it's probably going to be 3rd and 1 coming up. We'll just keep it right here.
If they can pick up this first down, it would really eat some clock.
Yeah, Fort Scott would be looking at burning their last timeout with just over, we're at 3:22 right now. This may be the game, Tony. And I can guarantee you if the Vikings get stuffed for no gain, I can guarantee you Shivy's going to go for it on 4th down.
This might be the play to do a fake.
Yeah, you're exactly right because it probably is 4-down territory. They may want to, fake that handoff to Henson and find somebody like Schultz or Largent wide open.
Yep.
I think we might just see something like that here. Whatever it is, all we need is 1 yard. 3rd and 1 for the Vikes. Boy, look at this formation, Tony. It certainly looks, is that Henson in the backfield? It might be Wildcat. Henson keeps it himself. Very close. He's got it. First down for the Vikings inside the 40 to the 39.
Yep, that's going
to make it tough for the Tigers.
Just got to hold on to the ball. No fumbles. They didn't pick their timeout.
No, they're going to conserve that last timeout for the time being. Vikings very patient.
About 2:40 before they have to snap it.
Vikings and Tigers each with 1 timeout. Now the Vikings are going to have to pick up the pace here a little bit, or they're going to get a penalty or call their final timeout. Only 9 seconds on the play clock as they get up to the line of scrimmage.
Wildcat, no, Houck's back there.
1st and 10 from the Fort Scott 39. They give it to Henson. He powers forward across the 35 to about the 34. That's huge.
Wow.
Clock still on the move. Looks like they're going to let the Vikings run one more play, the Tigers are, before they burn their last timeout.
This is going to be under 2 minutes before they snap it.
Vikings so close. Essentially 5 yards from the win, Tony.
Yeah.
5 more yards will clinch it.
They should be able to kneel it if they can pick up this first down. Got 3 downs to do it. Just hold on to the ball.
So 3 receivers split wide right for the Vikes, but they're not going to throw the ball. Give it to Henson over the left side. He's very close to the first down marker. Spins, falls forward. I think he's got it, Tony. It is a first down for the Vikings, and that should do it.
Wow.
That should do it. Just 1 timeout left for the Tigers, and the clock moving with 1:40 to go. 25-22. Boy, it was a heck of a comeback here in the 4th quarter by the Tigers, but it looks like they're going to fall 3 points shy.
I think the Vikings might take a timeout here, Scott, before these kneel downs. Maybe not.
Tigers still with one timeout. If they want to use it.
Clean snap. Just a clean snap.
Need a clean snap.
Victory
and
formation.
a kneel down. And I think the Vikes did just burn their last timeout. Coach Shabby wants to talk to his team. 69 seconds left, minute 9. Vikes lead at 25-22. We'll just keep it right here once again. Tony, looks like the Vikings, after really struggling last week in that season opener against LC, this is a hard place to get a win up here at Fort Scott, and the Vikings have just come up and played well, really in all 3 phases of the game. Offense has been so much better than it was last week. The defense was good last week. They were outstanding here tonight. And, special teams has done some nice things as well. So hard-earned victory for the Vikes if this holds up.
All-around good team win. Chandler Henson, hats off to him. Great yards on the ground, some receiving yards. Wyatt Schultz with some great receiving yards. Andrew Hauk played solid. I mean, just an overall good team win.
Vikes take the snap, and Hauk takes a knee. And now Fort Scott has taken their final timeout. So 1:07 left in the game. It's a 3-point lead for the Vikes. This time we will take a 30-second break and be right back. You're listening to Viking Football on V93.
Hi, I'm Shelby, one of the pharmacists at Bowen Pharmacy. Not only do we keep you up to date on your COVID and flu vaccines, but we also offer pneumonia, shingles, hepatitis, meningitis, tetanus, and whooping cough vaccines. Based on the latest CDC guidelines, we can recommend the vaccines to keep you and your family healthy. Thank you for always choosing Bowen Pharmacy. We're here today and we'll be here tomorrow.
Welcome back, everybody. Vikes 67 seconds away from victory. 2 more kneel downs should do it. They lead Fort Scott 25-22. Vikes have it 2nd and 15 from the Fort Scott 34. Hauk took the step. It was a little low, not as clean as you'd like, but he made a nice adjustment and was able to get that snap hauled in and take another knee. One more, because they would be able to run this clock down and almost to 20 seconds, 25 seconds. So the Viking crowd across the way giving the team a standing ovation. Well-deserved standing ovation. They have fought very hard for the entire 48 minutes. 30 seconds on the game clock. Just need one more good snap and one more kneel down, and this game belongs to the Vikings. And there it is. The Parsons Vikings come to Fort Scott and get their first win of the year. They knock off the Tigers by a final score of 25-22. We'll take a 3-minute commercial break, and then we'll be back with the Bowen Pharmacy postgame show. You're listening to Viking Football on V93.
Life is about movement, and the human body is like any high-performance machine. When miles add up, parts wear down, and that's when pain begins, and here's where it ends. At Labette Health, our nationally recognized orthopedic and sports medicine surgeons use advanced techniques to reduce recovery times and relieve pain for miles to come. Feel like new again at Labette Health in Parsons, Kansas. For more information, go to labettehealth.com.
At Labette Community College, we're passionate about medicine and compassionate about people. Our highly trained instructors provide innovative career-specific education in the field of diagnostic medical sonography. Do you already have an associate or bachelor's degree in healthcare? Earn an additional certification in sonography. LCC offers a 12-month completely online program with a clinical component. In as little as 1 year, specialize in OB, abdomen, or vascular. For more information, text pound SONO to 620-293-6671 today. Apply online at labette.edu.
Discover what you've been missing in Parsons, Kansas. Curious Minds Discovery Zone, a children's museum that inspires a love of learning with hands-on exhibits for all ages to imagine, create, learn, and discover. Kids enjoy looking through microscopes, building on our magnetic ball run wall, creative play in our doctor's office or grocery store, and lots more. Discover, explore, Parsons, Kansas.
Labette Community College is meeting the need for an increased demand in qualified radiographers. Our radiography students will train on the latest technology in a hospital simulation environment.
I wanted to be able to go into a career where I could help people. And if you're going to go into that field in this part of the four-state area, LCC is the only place to come.
Tuition is nearly half the cost of universities. Scholarship and financial aid available for those who qualify. Text radiography to 620-293-6671 for more information or visit labette.edu.
Bowen Pharmacy supports the Parsons Vikings here And here, and here. It's our goal to keep you covered. At Bowen Pharmacy, we give no excuses for you not to make it to the game. And it's always a great day to be a Viking.
Life is about movement, and the human body is like any high-performance machine. When miles add up, parts wear down, and that's when pain begins, and here's where it ends. At Labette Health, our nationally recognized orthopedic and sports medicine surgeons use advanced techniques to reduce recovery times and relieve pain for miles to come. Feel like new again at Labette Health in Parsons, Kansas. For more information, go to labettehealth.com.
And we are back live at Fort Scott High School. Coach Scheibe and his team down around one of the goal lines. And I'm having a post-game talk and post-game celebration as the Vikings get their first win of the year, Tony, 25-22 over the Fort Scott Tigers. It was a hard-fought game by both teams from start to finish. And, you know, we felt really good with 8:16 left in the fourth quarter. The Vikes had that 3-yard run by Henson to take a 25-7 lead, but man, Fort Scott made it interesting down the stretch.
Yeah, there was no let up in their fight, Scott. I was impressed with how well they fought, you know, to finish that game. And you know, I just feel like if they would have had that intensity in the third quarter, like they did there in the last, you know, 7-8 minutes of the game, it could have been different.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
It's just wow. It's a great win for the Vikings, and I'm sure Coach Scheibe is ecstatic for this win. I'm not sure if he's going to make it up here. It looks like he's walking with the team right now. I see him, so he might not make it up here tonight. But I mean, he's got to be just overwhelmed with joy just because, like you said earlier, you do not want to go 0-2. And, you know, we definitely avoided that. And next week, it could be interesting, Scott. It was a good game last year when we played Kansas City Prep. We played them at home, and it was a tough-fought game. And I remember their quarterback was pretty good, and I think he was only a sophomore last year, if I remember right. So next week's going to be another tough challenge. But
oh, yeah.
But if we can come to Fort Scott and do what we did tonight, there's no reason we can't go up to Kansas City and do the same thing. I mean, this team is, you know, they ain't got nothing to lose. I mean, you know, not everyone's, you know, hyped up on them just because you don't have a veteran quarterback.
Right.
But the defense is going to keep them in games, and as long as Houck continues to get better, and he had over 100 yards tonight, and as long as Henson runs as hard as he does, we're going to be in some games.
Yeah, and you know the defense, I think, got a little tired down the stretch, and but you know they gave up 3 scores tonight, and 2 of those again were on very short fields.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, 32 and 27.
Yeah, so they played great, and one thing about defenses, as long as they stay healthy, it seems like defenses are usually always a constant. You know, it's a little bit harder to always have your offense clicking.
Yeah.
It's different on the defensive side of the ball, and they have been very, very impressive these first 2 weeks, and they get the win 25-22 over the Fort Scott Tigers.
Yeah, he's talking with his family side.
Yep, looks like Coach Scheibe's not going to make it up for a post-game interview today, but, man, you know he's got to be just elated, and it's going to be a big celebration on that bus ride back to Parsons High School. So congratulations to the Vikes on their win, 25-22. Again, Saturday afternoon kickoff, 3:30 next week up in Kansas City. Tony and I will not be there, but
I think they're going to try to get somebody to do the radio.
We are trying to get a radio broadcast lined up for people who want to tune in for that Saturday afternoon game for the Vikes and the Christian Prep School out of Kansas City. And that's going to wrap it up for the Bowen Pharmacy postgame show. The Vikings get the win tonight over Fort Scott, 25-22 for Brody Wright and for Tony